All right. So from last session, it was kind of like part 2 of that battle with the Aboleth and the Kuatoa ceremony that was going on. Thalamir, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Thalamir and Flinta. Your skin was turning translucent. You had this slippery coating of slime exuding from your pores.
Needed to stay in the rain. I was bumming out.
Yep, you're taking some serious damage when you were not being moistened from the rain. Smitty and Thalamir went back into the lair to see if they could find an antidote, I think.
Yeah.
And almost died. Then you guys fought your way to the boats. You entered a skill check to navigate the waters because you're headed north, and you failed. Enna and Flinta were both thrown into the water, if I remember correctly. Enna, you transformed into a reef shark and tried to save Flinta, but it wasn't as easy as we thought it was going to be.
Because I was rolling like a stupid.
Yep, and then I think Smitty tied a rope around himself, dove in, and grabbed Flinta. You made it back to the boat. Then you kind of beached the boat on the shoreline, and the boat was destroyed. You made camp. In the middle of the night, you were visited by a strange man who you identified as the Mad Mage. You later learned his name was Anton Mortok. Anton invited you back to his mansion in the foothills of Mount Baratok, where you rested your weary souls. He cured Thalamir and Flinta. You ended up staying an extra day, so that means that it's been 2 days. It's been 2 days since you split from Irina and the 2 children, Myrtle and Freak.
Yeah,
that's right. We haven't found them
yet.
Yeah. Let's see. You learned a bunch of things from Anton, the Mad Mage, before the end of the last session. I think that's kind of how we ended things. Is him sort of answering some questions that you had for him. You already knew from your fortune-telling session with Madame Eva that he was kind of like the guy you were supposed to seek out as an ally, I believe.
Yeah, one who will help us greatly.
He indicated that he believes that killing Strahd will set him free of Barovia, and it might help you also escape Barovia. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. And he lost his scroll and his spell book.
Yep, his staff and his spell book. Yep. He's fought Strahd on numerous occasions with other adventurers and has been unsuccessful.
I'm sorry, his spellbook and his what?
His staff.
Staff, okay.
Yep. He knew about the curse on Zarovich Landing. He provided you with some clues towards the other parts of the prophecy from Madame Eva. Do you remember those? Some of that stuff?
Is that where the scroll of sending?
Well, he gave that. So he basically said that he'd be willing to help you if you can, first of all, find the artifacts that Madame Eva had indicated would help you in your fight against Strahd. So there was one prophecy that said the treasure lies in a dragon's house in hands once clean and now corrupted. He indicated that he thought that was a place called Argenvolstholt.
Yeah.
Do you have any notes on that?
I had dragon once flew slain by Strahd, but I can't remember what that means.
Yep, that was Argenvolstholt. A stronghold to the south that was once the home to a great dragon who fought a war against Strahd and lost. There was another prophecy, a man is not what he seems, he comes here in a carnival wagon, therein lies what you seek. He didn't really have any advice on that particular clue. There's another prophecy, what you seek lies in a pile of treasure beyond a set of amber doors. Did anybody write?
Yeah, you said something about an amber temple.
A place of great power.
I have conjure Aboleth, Quintoa, frog-like looking, primitive but smart.
Yep, those are the creatures that you fought in the lair. So, and then there was another one. He lurks in the depths of darkness in the one place to which he must return, a place of death. he didn't really have anything else to add to that particular clue, but he thought that it had something to do with killing Strahd. So anyways, he said he would help you if you are able to recover the items of power and discover where Strahd is located. In the meantime, he was going to go try to find his spell book and his staff so that he would be ready. And he gave you a scroll of sending so that you'd be able to contact him when you had those clues and those artifacts ready.
I do not have the artifacts that we're looking for written down for some reason. I should.
Do you have any notes from your Madame Eva prophecies?
That was in the Vistani camp, right?
Yes.
I found them out in the woods.
Yep.
Well, the weapon, right, is one of the things.
There's some kind of a weapon was referenced.
Right, and the powerful force, Avenger, treasure lies in a dragon's house. So is it the treasure, or you can't say?
I probably can't tell you anything more than what Madame Eva had told you.
And she just said, Avenger, powerful force is the Avenger. Treasure lies in dragon's house, in hands once clean but now corrupted. So, the Argensvolsholt, is that the name of the dragon or the place?
Pretty sure that's the place. That's like
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's
That's the stronghold.
That's the powerful force. And the enemy will lead us to him, Dark Lord, in one place to where he must return. Let's see. History. The heck is that? Illusionist. Yeah, from the visit with her, I have the weapon, the one who will help us greatly, enemy, history, and powerful force. That's what I had written.
Okay.
And that
Well,
and
and
the history is man is not what he seems, carnival wagon, therein lies what you seek.
So you've got some
Yeah.
clues to work with here.
Right,
You don't have
right.
the full picture, obviously.
Right.
But neither did Anton. He really didn't have a lot to. I mean, he gave you some good clues with like the Argensvolsholt and the Amber Temple. But there's still more
Did
investigating
he give
to
us
do.
location of Argensvolsholt
I
or
think he said
or
it was
the
to
Amber
the
Temple?
south. Argensvolsholt to the south of Vallaki. In Amber Temple, he did not provide a reference to the location. The last thing that he mentioned was that it was a one-day journey back to Zarovich Landing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that the foothills of Mount Baratok are inhabited by a savage race of men that he has done best to avoid. Grizzled and wild in appearance, long dirty hair, half naked, they smell like fish. Basically, is what he said. And that, my friends, is where we pick up.
Didn't you warn us something about going back to Zarovich Landing? We're not supposed to linger there.
Yeah,
Something
and
like that.
also that it would be smarter to stay on land in the foothills, not go
And
go
next to
across
shore.
not to go across the water for some reason. I can't remember what that was. Why?
I thought it was stick close to shore, not
Stick-
too far into the woods.
Yeah, don't go too far into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and you don't have a boat either
Yeah.
right now because your boat was smashed
Yeah.
Yep.
on the rocks. So you bid your farewells to Anton, and as you step through the doorway, you turn around and look back, and you don't see the door anymore. All you see is forest behind you and forest ahead of you, and just within 20 feet or so is the shore of Lake Zarovich, and it's still rough. The waters are splashing and wavy, and there's a pretty good wind, but it's not raining anymore. It's morning. Although the darkness of the cloud cover sort of shadows the ground, combined with the tall shadows of the trees, which are pretty tall and pretty thick in this forest. But you're on solid ground. You're not on the water anymore, which Flinta
happy
is
for.
certainly happy about.
Yep.
And you're in a forest, so the two of you at least are feeling pretty good about being in a forest.
Yeah.
You also have with you Smitty, who is going to be kind of quiet throughout today, but you've also got Arabelle with you. Young girl. She's about 14 years old. She's wearing colorful dress. Not a super good outfit for traveling through the forest, but she's a tough little cookie and she's ready to go. She's feeling a lot better now.
Where did we pick her up?
You
She
saved
came out
her
of the-
from the ceremony that was taking
That's
place in the Aboleth lair.
That's right.
And you had a vision with her.
Yes.
Yeah, your original sort of vision when you popped into this realm had to do with this. It suggested that there was a connection with this girl.
All right. Did you share that with us, or is that something you've kept to yourself?
I shared it when we were back at Mad Mage's
Okay.
house.
All right. Okay.
You get the sense from Arabelle as she interacts with you, just really on very superficial level, that she seems a little mature for her age. She's very smart. She's a little sassy, but you get the sense that she's sort of an independent young woman, and she's good taking care of herself. She's happy to be with you, and she's excited because she overheard some of the conversations you were having with Anton. And so she's very interested in, as many of the people in this valley have been when they've met you, trying to learn stories from you, and where did you come from, and who are you, and why did you come here, and what have you done before. Very curious about the outside world.
I have a question, technical question.
Okay.
So if I have daylight as an ability with the grassland,
Yep.
and that it doesn't take a spell slot, I don't have to rest up for it.
Okay.
I'm assuming this. If it's not, if it doesn't take a spell slot, then I need.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count against the spells that you have prepared. I think is the way it works. Let's see. Circle of the land. You choose. Once you gain access to a circle spell, you always have it prepared, and it does not count against the number of spells you can prepare. It does count against your slots, though. So if you use daylight, which is a 5th level spell, or no, not a 5th level spell.
It's a third level.
It's a third level spell. You still use a 3rd level slot to cast it.
Oh,
but the nice thing is that it doesn't count against the number of spells that you can have prepared.
Okay, all right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does. I misunderstood that.
Yeah. So anytime you cast a spell, you still have to use a spell slot.
Okay.
Unless you're a sorcerer, in which you're not.
All right.
There's different things
Right.
for that.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
That answers the question.
It just gives you access to these spells.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Because that gives me essentially two extra 3rd level spells.
Yeah.
Because both haste and daylight are.
Yeah, and those are pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Both really sweet.
Yeah, because I was wondering about casting daylight.
That seems like it'll come in handy in this campaign.
Yeah.
60-foot radius sphere of light spreading out from a point you choose within range.
For an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was going with this, because I was thinking, but if it's going to take us all day, 1 hour isn't going to do us any good. I better save it. So that's where I was going with that.
Wow, that's a cool spell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
So is Sleet Storm.
You are setting out through the forest. Arabelle, curious about things you've done, asking questions. You have time to talk amongst yourselves or not, but you are traveling now along the shoreline.
Okay.
The dark woods, very dark actually, as you look kind of up the hillside. On the left side of you is the forest and kind of rocky, bouldery terrain going up in the foothills, and on your right side is the water, the shoreline, and you're just sort of following the shoreline and following the trees come right down, almost like in the Boundary Waters where there's the cedar trees come down right to the edge of the islands and the shoreline and almost like dipping themselves into the lake.
It could be that we're back away from the shoreline just a little bit because it's really thick right up next to the water's edge.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But still keeping the lake in sight and not getting too far off.
Yep. Moving along, being
So-
kind of quiet.
so
Don't want to run into.
Can I ask a geography question?
Sure.
folks?
So we're on the shore. Is it a straight or is it a curved? Does the path? Do we curve around to get back?
Yeah, you look, do a perception check for me. Let's start there.
18.
Um,
Wait. 22.
Okay, yeah. So you can peer through the mists and you can see ahead of you that it does appear that the lake kind of does this, kind of the shoreline kind of wraps. So you're going to be walking along sort of an arc path.
I'm trying to gauge the distance across from where we are now to where we are going to be. How many feet, miles?
You mean back to Zarovich Landing?
Yes.
That you can't see. You cannot see Zarovich Landing yet. It's still off in the mists. There's too much sort of mist to really be able to see clear across the lake.
Right.
Yeah. But you were told by Anton that it's a day's journey.
Right, but
Yeah.
if a day's journey, if we're going like this, I'm trying to figure out if we can go like this,
Okay. You could.
and
Cut
that's what I'm
across?
trying. Pardon?
Gonna cut across. I don't know if I'm super excited about that.
Well, I was trying to figure out. I've got water walk,
Mm-hmm.
which means I could have all three of us walk across the water, but we can only do that for an hour. So I'm trying to figure out how long that distance is if we can cover that distance in an hour.
You could try. You can't tell. Like you could basically what you could do is you could just walk for an hour on the water, and then when your hour's up, you could jump back onto the shoreline. But to know if you're going to actually get to Lake Zarovich Landing within an hour, that's pretty hard to say.
Could we?
Because
jog
that could
on the
save us
water?
a hell of a lot of time. Pardon?
Could we jog on the water?
Well, it says, spell grants the ability to move across any liquid surface such as water, acid, mud, snow, quicksand, or lava, as
Hey, that's really cool.
if it were harmless solid ground. Creatures crossing molten lava can still take damage from the heat. Up to 10 willing creatures you can see within range gain this ability for the duration.
That's cool.
If you target a
should try it
creature
just to see
submerged
we
in
did
a
it.
liquid, the spell carries the target to the surface of the liquid at the rate of 60 feet per round, which would have been helpful the last time
Yeah.
if I had had this level of spell for you. But I didn't have it then.
That's a pretty powerful spell.
It is. So I'm thinking we can make some serious time, but the thing is if we're cutting across and we're really far from any shore at an hour, we might be screwed.
Yeah. Wait, do you have multiple spell slots at that level? So could you cast it again if we were in really deep trouble?
I could cast it a second time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Flint is pretty happy in the woods. But
Okay.
it
Could
is a
save
heck
us
of a long
time, and it
walk.
could save us some
Yep, entanglements.
hassle with.
Doesn't Natural Explorer get us to walk faster in the woods or something? I don't know.
Doesn't what?
Natural Explorer get us to move quicker
that-
through woods?
Is that something you have as a ranger?
Yeah.
Well, let's see what you got.
Maybe we can move stealthily at a normal pace or something like that.
Or wait a minute. What if I shapeshift?
Tow us across.
Are you guys moving while you're having this conversation?
I'm keeping us moving.
All right.
Guys got to do all magic all the time. Scared of just a nice hike.
Yeah, but if I shift to a mule, I can move us a hell of a lot faster across this water.
Yep.
It just says difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. You can't be lost except by magical means. Even when you're engaged in other activities while traveling, such as foraging, navigating, or tracking, you can remain alert to danger and move at a normal pace.
Hey, well, I'll keep that in mind.
Is that for a specific type of landscape?
I think it's just for all. It just says natural explorer. I have it for forest.
Would you feel better if I was a riding horse, Flinta, instead of a mule?
I think it's
Yeah,
on the
probably.
gauge of
But I had to go
footprints.
swimming last time and almost drowned myself.
How fast do I move here?
Choose one type of favored terrain. So did you already choose?
Yeah, I chose forest.
So when you're in a forest, all these things apply.
yeah.
So difficult terrain can affect you, etc. Yep.
So
This wouldn't apply to like the water though,
yeah.
right? This would apply for when you're in the forest.
But it's just him.
Well, no, it's
It'd be all of
applies
us.
to. Well, the first bullet says difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
because he is a natural
Okay.
explorer, he
Alright.
gives the group benefit,
All right.
and the group can't become lost, etc. So that's good.
There's only one that says me, I think.
That would have been really handy, like early on when we almost lost our packs and everything.
Oh yeah.
This one's just when you're traveling alone, you can move stealthily at a normal pace. But
Which one's that?
fourth one down.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
the first
when
two
I
bullets
forge.
are for you and your group. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, the first two.
All right. So here's the deal.
Are we gonna do it?
Let's walk. See how this goes.
If it's like excruciatingly slow. then we
If
can-
if we're moving really slow or if something looks like trouble, we can. That's our plan. I'll shift to riding horse.
Wait, can we both ride, or all three of us ride on the same horse?
Well, there's 5 of you now. Like,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you've got Arabelle, Smitty,
Smitty.
you two, and you.
Who's the slowest moving of us?
I mean, I have 35 feet.
Me too. I bet you Smitty's pretty close.
Smitty probably has 30. I think he's human. Yeah, he's a human rogue.
Arabelle's probably the slowest moving of all of us, just because she doesn't have as long.
I'm fast. What are you talking about?
You just have a short.
I'm just as fast as you are. Probably faster.
You're fast, but you have a short stride. You can't help it. You're just have shorter legs. Miss Sassy.
Besides, you're wearing a dress.
Pretty cool dress.
Pretty cool dress. I'll give you a piggyback ride.
All right. She climbs up on your shoulders.
Yep, don't mind that a bit.
All right. Well, let's move. Let's hustle.
Moving right
Let's
along.
go.
All right, so you continue walking along the.
Yeah, could I start foraging?
Sure. Tell me a little bit
He
about
set
what
it.
you're
He
doing.
set us up for rationing.
I'm looking for berries and stuff along the shoreline. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, you're able to find some berries as you make your way along the shoreline. That's pretty.
Probably you
pretty
should be
easy.
hunting too.
I don't know if I can do that while at normal speed. It also says I find twice as much as I normally would.
Okay.
Handy to have along.
Yeah, roll a d20.
18.
So you found 36 berries. You got a whole pile. You can make a pot. Maybe you could take it to the.
36 berries
Yeah.
is like a handful.
That's a lot. They're big berries.
Take it back to the windmill and make a pie.
Make some pie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can forage, navigate, and track while moving at a normal pace and alert to danger.
All right.
All right. So we're all looking, or keeping our eyes peeled for.
But you're
Wood
moving. You're moving at
savages
a normal pace,
Yeah.
basically. Okay.
So, how are we moving? You're first. I think you should be first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since
Are you
Smitty
okay
next.
with being first?
Sure.
I don't mean to be bossy, but I think you. I think you're the smartest one.
Yeah.
to
What
have
is
up
your
front.
marching order here?
I think it makes more sense for you to be up front.
Okay.
Send Smitty second.
Okay.
Yeah, because he won't tolerate being in the back. I'll take up the rear.
Okay.
All right.
And I fall in
And
line
you and
next.
Arabelle will be.
And I got Arabelle on for a ride.
Okay. That sounds good. As you're walking along, you can see that the forest continues to grow darker and more gnarly, and it's more dense. It's getting thicker as you travel around the edge of the lake. Vines are growing all over the place. You're seeing berries and things like that, but eventually you start to see that there's not as much fruit as you get into a certain part of the forest, and it kind of feels a little uneasy, especially you knowing forests, and you, Enna, as well as a druid. Again, you've consistently been sort of like hit with this strange, uneasy feeling of rot and decay ever since you've gotten into this valley. But in this particular grove that you're making your way through, and again, you're not going through any roads, so you're sneaking around and through brambly bushes, and taking a kind of a circuitous path around trees and bramble bushes and trying to make your way. It's not like a straight shot, so it's taking you. It's not taking you any longer because you've got your natural explorer, but it's definitely it's not easy going by any stretch of the imagination. And we're still kind of mid-morning here, so this would be a great time for folks to make a perception check.
Or not 20.
Oh, nice.
I'm 18.
17.
Okay, so all at the same time, you hear a twig snap just off in the not too distant. You hear the a twig snap.
I draw my bow. I don't know.
Yep, I stop and set Arabelle down and grab an axe.
All right. I'm prepared. I've got my scimitar.
Okay. So
Got my
you
quarterstaff.
stop moving and you're
Dead silent.
okay.
Listening.
Quiet. You're listening.
He's got perception going.
Yeah, a really good perception.
See anything up there?
You don't see anything. 1 minute passes.
No.
2 minute passes.
Just steady.
You hear crow.
We hear crow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to speak with animals.
Okay.
I want to speak with the crow.
Okay.
I'm casting that spell.
Okay.
What do you see?
Well, you heard a crow. You don't. There's no crow in front of you.
Crow, come here.
You call out.
Yeah. Crow, come to us.
You hear more crows.
Come to us.
One crow comes down along the water's edge and perches on a tree.
Crow, can you tell us what you see from up above in the sky?
Trees. Lots of trees.
Do you see any people besides us? Or beings? Human type beings.
When you say that, it flies off and flies up. And it's
Going to look.
a minute, 2 minutes. All of a sudden, comes back down and lands. How long does the spell last? Hopefully longer than 2 minutes.
I hope so too. 10 minutes.
Okay, so awesome. So the crow comes back down and perches and says, "Trees, lots of trees."
And you can't get into the branches, you can't see anything below.
I didn't see anything from up high.
I appreciate you looking, Crow. Thank you very much. Can Crow? Already gone?
Yeah,
God dang it!
they're busy.
Dang it! I wasn't done talking to you. I still have 10 minutes.
Yeah. Any other critters around that you can talk to? We got any deer?
Squirrel.
We got around? We got any squirrels?
Squirrel. Are there any squirrels? Squirrel, are you there?
You say that, but you don't. Nothing replies. You don't hear anything in response.
I suppose I could shift and look, but
So it's been about 5 minutes since you stopped.
Snapping a twig.
could be just an animal.
Alright, one of us should probably make a sweep around. Go and see if we can see anything.
Can I move alone stealthily?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Sure.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say that.
17.
So what are you trying to do exactly?
Just sneak around to try and see if there's anything around. Just make a little loop.
Are you looping? Are you like doubling back loop, or are you going ahead loop?
Just a loop going like around in the woods beside us, and
We all rolled pretty well perception. Is there a chance that we can kind of pick a direction where the snapping twig came from?
You can do that.
I think we should
Yeah,
go that way.
you definitely know where the snap came from.
Alright.
okay,
I think we should go and
in
investigate
the general
that way.
direction of the snap, I guess.
Okay, so you stealth into the woods, and the rest of you are sitting there, kind of stationary. You see Thalamir disappear into the undergrowth. Minutes go by. You are searching through the undergrowth, and you come across where you think the snap came from. It's probably 30 to 50 feet away from where your friends are. And you can see in the dirt and in the like undergrowth that there was something that was sitting there. All the branches and all the leaves and all the little herbs are kind of like matted down, and as if something stepped on it or something was sitting there.
Okay, can I use my natural explorer to tell the
Track it.
it's like I can tell some things about creatures that were there. I forget.
What kind of a ranger are you again? Are you a hunter?
Yeah. While tracking other creatures, you also learn their exact number, their sizes, and how long ago they passed through the area.
Okay, so you can tell that these are there's tracks as well that you notice as you start to look around, and they look like humanoid feet.
Okay.
And you spend a couple of minutes sort of, kind of crawling around on your hands and knees, and you're sort of like finding little clues and little twigs that are snapped, and you can see like it starts to really almost like you get into this zone and you see like this sort of pattern emerge in front of you of these 4 humanoid creatures that walked through this area, and you can tell by looking at the tracks, because you're such a great tracker, that they were moving very slowly, as if they were
likely
they were
trying to be
sneaking
stealthy.
through. Yeah.
Can I tell where they're going?
You can see that the tracks lead towards in the same direction that you're moving, but farther ahead from where your party is right now. So they seem to be moving almost in parallel to the direction that you're traveling.
But they're ahead of us now.
And in terms of size, the tracks they look like bare feet of men.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna head back and report what I learned.
Okay. So you make another stealth check for me.
Nat 20.
Oh yeah, you easily make it back through the underbrush, and you're all just kind of standing there, and all of a sudden Thalamir's just kind of standing next to you. You didn't even see him.
Because
Hey,
you're
guys.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
And what do you say?
I learned that 4 humanoid men have passed through this area. They were moving very slowly. They were going in the just same general direction as us.
Think they're tracking us, following us?
I'm not sure.
Are they ahead of us now?
Likely.
Kind of sounds like it.
Probably not by much, though. They're moving pretty slow.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright, well, we'll watch out for an ambush.
Yeah.
well, maybe now's the time to go. Go
Yeah.
across the lake. We're halfway around.
Alright, we miss a fight, but I guess I'm game as long as we're not going to get wet and fall in the water. I'm going to have to swim again.
Well, depends how fast we can move in an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
Smitty doesn't object.
He's been awfully quiet tonight.
Yeah, whatever you guys say, guys. Whatever you want to do.
He'll be able to see if there's fish below us.
Yeah. He can troll while you're walking.
All right, so I'm gonna do a water walk with all of us.
Okay.
But we gotta move.
Yeah.
We gotta move fast.
How long does that take to
1 hour.
cast?
How long does it take to cast?
Yeah.
You want us to fight too, don't you?
No, I think you're. Well, I mean, I don't. It's either way.
Um,
I like your plan to.
One action. Casting time,
Okay.
1 action.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So that's what you do.
All right.
You get out your. What does it take? Like any sort of materials or components?
PSM, piece of cork.
So you pull out a piece of cork, and you hold it in your hand and say your magic words, whatever that is. Yep, you do your thing. You do your thing, and everybody suddenly.
I think the water walk would be something like this.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, man.
Something like, calm down.
Yep.
Calm down, waves.
Go all Jesus on us.
Okay,
Walk
so
on the water.
Let's all roll. Let's
you
go.
cast your spell, and you head out onto the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All of us can do that.
Yep.
So let's go. Move. Let's go. Fast.
So as you start to get out onto the lake, you see, you get out about 20 feet from the shoreline, and you see a couple of like men, but they're like on all fours, and they're kind of like looking out at you as you go across, and they look really confused. What's going on? But they're dirty, and their hair is disheveled. It looks like they're rolling around in the leaves. They just look like these rugged, rough forest men that Anton was telling you about.
Yep.
And they're just kind
How
of
many of them?
watching you
4?
as you see 4 of them on the shoreline. So how far out do you go into the lake, just out of curiosity?
Well, we're trying to cut across, so
So ways out.
we're gonna be a ways out. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
we're trying to split the difference.
Yeah,
so
you're trying to cut off.
we're trying to cut
time.
off that curve.
Absolutely.
What's remaining of the curve.
Absolutely. Arabelle is like, this is the coolest. Oh my gosh. She's like looking down her feet. She's like, I think I saw a fish. And she's like, this is so cool.
It is cool, but we gotta move fast because we've only got an hour, you guys. So
And I'm
somebody's
kind of
gotta
watching for bow, keep us out of bow range, and
keep an eye on the time because if we're getting close to an hour, we gotta get to shore.
How are you going to track time?
well, with my iPhone, duh.
We don't have Casio or Timex. I think, based on your spellcasting like experience, you probably have a pretty good sense of when an hour. I mean, you're close, right?
I would think.
Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
probably going to err on the side of caution. I would
Yes.
think too.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so you're out on the water. It's really a weird sensation because you can see the waves, and there's still like white caps in certain areas, and it's just like this lake is almost like continuously turbulent, and not in like a normal way where everything's kind of going in the same direction from the wind blowing. It's like waves are crashing in all different sorts of directions, and it's all for you guys. It's almost like walking over little hills, and so you're just kind of traversing across this
cool.
really weird. This weird surface, but you're
Flint is like really freaking out.
kind of
just
sweating.
like-
Flint has
yeah.
got like beads of
Flinta,
sweat
it's gonna
rolling.
be okay. I know you don't believe me, but it's gonna be all right.
Smitty reaches out his hand and like pats you on the back. It's gonna be all right. So you travel
Just
along
get off of this water.
for about, let's just say 40 minutes or so, and you start to get a sense like we should probably start to
Head towards
shore.
shore.
Okay.
Because we can't see any shore in front of us.
Well, I'm assuming you kept the shore in sight.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, but I mean, like directly in front of us, like we don't see.
You
Zarovich.
can't
Zarovich.
see Zarovich landing yet. Still,
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
this is a really big lake.
Right, that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to gauge right
Yeah.
here. All right.
But we're getting to around midday now. So
Well,
it's-
that's when we started. Was at about midday. So
you were at
said
mid morning.
mid morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're about midday, so like noonish or so, as you make your way back to the shoreline. And so you get back to the shoreline, and you can kind of sense that you kind of dip your toe back in the water, and it goes. Your foot gets a little wet, so you're like, all right. But you made significant progress. You shaved. Where Where's that die?
And I bet you we left those 4 in the dust. They would have a hard time catching us now.
Yeah, well, they might not be the only ones, so
They
let's
might not
keep
be the
our
only
keep
ones.
our eyes and ears open.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you can just tell based by looking back across from where you came that you made a lot of progress, but there's still a ways to go.
Okay. So, up on the shore, back into the woods, following the shoreline, moving right along, keeping eyes peeled.
Okay. All right, everybody, roll a perception check for me.
Ooh,
I got 9 plus 2, I think.
11.
11.
8.
Okay. So
Not good.
you feel like you're just strolling around along and you don't see anything weird, you don't hear anything weird. You continue on your journey, and it takes, again, it's a couple hours. Now you're being a little bit quieter and you're kind of working your way through the woods. It gets to be about, I would say, 3 or 4 o'clock. So you've been traveling for probably 6 hours at this point from when you left. You cut off about 2 hours of travel, which was nice. But now you come upon a weathered fence line. It's starting to get dark again, so it's late afternoon. A weathered fence line beyond which lies the familiar stench of Zarovich Landing.
Oh, all right.
The crumbling and mold covered is recognizable as the stench of rotten fish in the air. The village is quiet except for a blood-curdling series of cries coming from a nearby location beyond your view. And Arabelle's like, we need to get out of here.
Yeah, don't go there.
Well, you can twist that pot a little bit so that you're.
No, not the spider, the pot.
That's
Turn
okay.
the whole-
That's all right. That'll work too.
Okay.
I just it keeps hitting you in the head or the shoulder or something.
So we get to Zarovich Landing and hear a blood-curdling scream.
Yep. So you're basically like you kind of crept up to this fence line
Yeah.
in the woods. So the woods kind of opened up a little bit, and there's like this rickety old rotten fence line, and you can see also that the the fence line and the nearby shed, and even the house beyond the shed are covered in a weird slime, just like you recognize from deep in the lair where you fought the aboleth. Everything seems to be covered in slime.
Okay.
Oh, was that same damn thing came into Zarovich Landing?
I have a really bad question to ask. Why are we back here again?
We're trying to find our buddy and the other kid. What's her name? From Arena.
Oh, Arena?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once we split with her at the lake, and
Yeah. Okay.
we lost track of her, so we're looking for her.
Yeah, I didn't think she was coming back here. Didn't she say she was going to go to...
Yeah, didn't she say she would wait at...
Zarovich Landing.
yeah, wait. I thought it was the Vallaki.
Vallaki.
Yeah, I thought she said she would wait at Vallaki.
That's what I thought too. So I'm wondering why the hell we're back here. Am I forgetting something?
Smitty's like, yeah, this is we're on our way to Vallaki. We had to go this way to get back to Vallaki.
Right.
So can we just go around?
We don't need to go into town.
We don't know.
Arabelle's like, well, I don't think that'd be a good idea. We should get out of here.
Agreed.
I want to get back to my dad.
We ever ask you who your dad is?
No, I don't think you did.
Who is your dad?
My father's name is Luvash, and I don't know if you've noticed, but this is not a great place to be having like a casual conversation.
No,
This place is pretty creepy.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, it's got the slime stuff that we know who's been here. Let's go. Can we
Alright.
circumvent this?
Yeah, let's go around.
So roll a perception check.
21.
14.
11 again.
Okay, so all of you, it's pretty obvious to see that there's a fence line that kind of goes around this little property, and if you're coming along a shoreline, and then all of a sudden there's Zarovich Landing, but you could go around. There is a way to bypass Zarovich Landing if you want to.
Let's do that. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Double time. Let's go.
Double
Smitty,
time?
you alright with that? I know you got a thing for Arena.
Well, maybe not double time. I'm
You
just.
don't think she's here, do you?
No, she said she was going to meet us
Okay.
at the inn or something, didn't she? Wasn't she going to find an inn and wait for us there in Vallaki?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I don't know. She said she was
Yeah,
able to,
because we
like,
peeled off to go to Zarovich Landing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you decide to stealthily move along the edge of town and get back to the main road. Remember, if you remember correct, or we came up to a crossroads.
Right.
And you went north to Zarovich Landing because you wanted to go after the Mad Mage.
Right.
You ran into Brother Thomas.
Right.
Meanwhile,
Yep.
the other three went towards Vallaki.
Right.
So you pretty much, if you want to take the road, you'd have to go back south to that intersection and then go to Vallaki.
All right.
Or you could cut through the forest.
Forest or road? I have benefits for the forest, but the road might be safer.
I do too, but I don't know about the rest of these folks. So maybe we should stick to the road.
I'm fine cutting through the woods. And I can, Arabella's fine riding with me. I think we can keep up pace going through the woods.
All right.
Yeah, it might be faster.
Let's go.
Okay.
Okay, so you're heading through the woods.
Hey Dave, can you turn that light on?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so it's getting darker. Night is starting to creep into the valley of Barovia, and the mists are kind of growing thicker. But you decide to take the approach of going through the woods. So your benefit is that with the natural spores that you can't get lost. Is that correct?
Yeah, and difficult terrain doesn't slow our group's travel. We can't become lost. Except by magical means.
Okay, so you're feeling really confident in Thalamir's abilities to guide you through the woods, and that's not proven to be a problem. He seems to be finding sort of the best path, and everybody's just kind of following in a line as he goes around this way. You follow, and everybody's sort of making their way through the forest.
I think we're probably in our same running order that we
Okay.
were earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Okay. Let's see here.
God, if Smitty was here, he'd go after that scream. I'm glad that he's not here.
Yeah, no doubt. So you eventually, it's legit nighttime. You hear a howl in the distance, a wolf howling, and around that same time, you step out of the woods onto the road. So you actually cut through the woods and hit the road.
Oh, surprise. I'm looking around for danger, something to rage on.
Okay, roll a perception check.
15.
14.
You don't see anything to rage on. There's nothing like immediate danger here. But you kind of have a decision. You can continue cutting through the woods, or you can use the road now.
Is the road, or can we tell that the road, if the road is directly there, or?
To go our
Like
way.
what part of the road you're on, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. Roll a investigation check.
Yeah.
19.
Okay. Yeah, you basically you're pretty sure that you are on the spur road that goes from the junction to Zarovich Landing. So if you were to head south on this road, you'd get back to where the sign said Vallaki this way, Zarovich Landing that way.
Okay.
And that's the point where you split up from Arena and the two kids.
I'm trying to remember, was there any kind of shelter at that intersection? Just a sign, wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just a sign.
Okay. Because we should be thinking about, we've got Arabelle, we've got a lot of walking ahead of us.
Yeah.
We
On
should
one
maybe.
hand, the road would be really open,
Mm-hmm.
But
but
is
it might
dark.
be safer. I don't know.
Is it dark enough that we feel like it's dark enough to conceal us a little bit?
It's pretty dark, yeah.
Pretty dark.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? I'll walk on the road with you. I ain't scared.
Well, it isn't
ready for a fight anyway.
It isn't scared as much as we need to make sure that we're staying rested because we got pretty burnt out the last time. So
Yeah, and it's been a full day of walking. Like you've been, whether you were walking on the water or walking through the woods, you've been traveling for probably 8 to 10 hours at this
so
point.
why don't we just kind of carry along the road and keep our eyes peeled for some kind of shelter?
Okay, that sounds good.
And then if we need to, we can duck into the woods to try and hide.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not stick out in the middle of the road. Let's kind of walk along the edge here.
All right, so you walk along the edge of the road, and after about an hour of travel, so now you're really getting into the nighttime, you get to that intersection. And you can see the old rickety sign. It's hard to read the words because it's so dark right now. But you can see one arrow points to Vallaki, one arrow points to Zarovich Landing.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to Vallaki.
Let's go.
Okay.
And let's get away from the crossroads and really find a spot to hole up for a while.
So you're gonna look for a place to camp? Is that
We're
what you're
looking for shelter, yeah.
Okay.
Or an area
So-
that makes sense.
Yeah, so based on like your skill sets as a ranger, you don't see any structural like
Cabins.
there's nothing structural to sort of hold up in, but there is an old campsite on that crossroads. There's an old fire pit. Looks like it hasn't been used in a while, but there's a kind of a cleared out area where it looks like people had probably laid out and slept. So there is a little like campsite there at the crossroads.
I mean, it's like crossroads, so a bunch of people might pass through there in the night.
Yep. May end up with a party coming right in on top of us. I'm not super excited about this spot, but we could post a lookout and it could be just fine.
It's right there at the crossroads.
It's a party
Visible
spot.
from the
It's the party
crossroads.
spot.
Well,
You want to take a loop around and see if you can find a better spot?
Yeah, can I see anything in the woods or anything?
Yeah, roll a perception check. Are you just looking from like the edge of the road, or are you gonna kind of go and dip in and?
I might dip in a little bit, but not too far.
Okay.
Like still
Do you have
remain
In
inside.
dark vision as with your elf?
Yeah, I have 60
Okay.
feet.
Nice.
17 plus 6, so 23.
Okay. Oops. So you don't find any better like spot. The forest is really thick around here. Like I was saying earlier, there's it's dense. There's a lot of underbrush, a lot of brambles, and this is pretty much, I guess, what you would consider with your background like an emergency like campsite for people who just couldn't quite make it to Vallaki and needed a place to crash.
Okay.
is there a tree handy?
There's trees everywhere.
So, how comfortable are you sleeping up in the tree, or watching up in the tree?
I could sit up in a tree and watch, I guess. I don't know.
Well, what I'm thinking is if either you or I could stay out of sight and kind of keep an eye out from up above.
Yeah, because we only need 4 hours to the beach.
Yeah, that might be the way to go.
Okay, I'll take first watch, I guess. I can
Alright.
go up in that tree.
And yeah. I think that sounds good. I think too, I'm gonna shapeshift to Panther.
Something intimidating.
That has good night vision and speed.
Mm.
And I'm just gonna lay down next to the rest of these guys as Panther.
Okay.
So I'm ready
Huh.
to pounce if something crazy happens.
That's awesome. Okay, so
Oh,
you're a panther.
I'm gonna sleep with my axe, and it'll be fine.
Just cut on up with your axe.
Flinta.
I do all the time.
That's pretty
all the time
standard.
anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
standard.
camping. That's standard procedure.
Always have an axe within reach.
When I was on the Boundary Waters, I was sleeping at this kind of an angle, and I stuck my axe under my ridge rester and leaned on that. And
Oh, and, like,
slid
leveled
down.
you out?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Shim. Body shim.
That's great.
Not to be confused with a shiv. That's something else.
No, that's
This was a
dangerous.
shiv.
So
Awesome box here, Shannon.
Oh.
All Mining Kugel's returnables.
Yeah, I know it's an oldie but a goodie. It's got all my jam jars in it because I made jam this week.
how long does your wild shape last?
No, look. I should know that. Off the top
Number
my
of
head.
hours equal to half your druid level, round down. So you're 5, so 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, so you'll be a panther for the first 2 hours,
Yeah.
and you're on watch
I'm in a tree on watch.
in a tree, and Flinta, Smitty, and Arabelle are sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Smitty with his
Yeah. Just-
fishing pole, Flinta with her axe,
yeah,
and Arabelle just going, "What the hell is this?"
yeah. She's just trying to stay warm. Do you have a fire going or anything like that?
I don't think that's wise.
No.
Okay. So I'm assuming you had some sort of food or
Because I
something
can,
like that.
Yeah, you guys
for
can have
people
some
to
of my
crash.
berries.
Share your berries.
because I've got Druid craft and I can create fire like that if we need to.
Yeah.
So unless we need it, let's not.
It is
use
kind of cold, I would say. That's the only reason that you
Yeah,
would
well, there's a
think about.
We've got cloaks. We've got
Yeah,
dire.
I'm wearing my robe up in the tree.
Okay,
We've got dire skin. Dire wolf skin.
that's true.
Oh,
Although no, I think didn't we get rid of that because
maybe
it was
because it stunk.
it was like it still had flesh and it was kind of rotten.
Yeah, they made me leave it.
Yeah, I think they'll leave it.
Well, I'm not using my bedroll or my cloak because I'm a panther, so I'm
Okay.
just gonna give that to Arabelle. It's laying on top of her.
Okay, so she's pretty.
She's taken
toasty.
care of.
Yep, she's pretty toasty.
And
at
I
this
don't
point.
need anything because I'm a panther.
Okay, but
I
you're
got my-
you're a sleeping panther, correct?
At the moment, I am.
Okay, got it. All right, so
Catnap.
nice, taking a cat nap. Love it. All right, so Thalamir, you're on the first watch. Why don't you roll perception?
16. Not great, but
Okay. You throughout your watch, you hear howling wolves, which you're starting to get used to. Is pretty common around here. And but other than that, you really don't. There's nothing else. No other people are walking on the road. Nothing puts on your spidey sense, so you're not too concerned about it.
okay.
So a couple hours pass, and are you gonna stay up the whole night or?
He's
I
gonna
thought
do
I was
4
gonna
and
do
then
4 and
give
4.
me a 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on the next watch.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so why don't you roll perception then?
Okay, so I'm sleeping now.
Yep.
Okay.
14.
Okay, so this is like sort of the witching hour, and it's very quiet at this point. You don't even hear.
By the way, I'm up in the tree now.
You're in the tree now.
I am in
okay.
the tree.
So you're in the tree, and you don't. Nothing happens. You don't hear anything. You're not concerned. Seems to
quiet night at the
seems to be
crossroads.
very uneventful.
That alone makes me nervous.
It should. So and then who's gonna take the third watch?
That's
Wait.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. That's right. 4 hours. Okay. So the sun starts to come up and the light starts to sort of filter its way through the trees. Everybody sort of rouses from their sleep, feeling pretty well rested.
Have rations. Have rations.
Yep. Have a
Oh,
little
and I got
breakfast.
spell slots back.
Yep. You got your spell slots back.
Ate all the berries, all 36 of them.
Yep. The berries were pretty good sustenance.
I'm shifted back, by the way. As you
To
know.
Enna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because my panther self is no longer panther. That was fun though.
Wait, does it take spell slots to shapeshift?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
So can
As a
you-
matter of fact, I get a whole new set of hit points. My shapeshift.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Which is-
shape shifting is really
Kind of saved
handy.
my ass a little bit once before, so
Yeah.
I don't take that anytime.
Okay, so you're ready to go. Arabelle she's like, I really would like to get home.
Yep.
And you actually were able to have a conversation with her now.
Mm-hmm.
If there's things that you wanted to ask her about.
So Arabelle, can you tell us a little bit about your family? Can you tell us about how you ended up where you ended up?
She says yes. I was out gathering berries and food and foraging, and some man grabbed me and kidnapped me, and that's the last thing I remember before waking up with Anton in his mansion and eating all that great food.
So, you were gathering by Vallaki?
Yeah. I don't really go into Vallaki very often. I'm actually from a small little camp outside of Vallaki. I don't know if you noticed by my bright colored clothes, but I'm Vistani.
You're Vistani. Okay.
Yeah. My father, Luvash, is actually the leader of our little camp.
Is that
And
how we met?
I think that that he would be.
Okay.
He will surely reward you for bringing me back to him. He's going to be very relieved. I don't know how long I've been gone, but I've never stayed away for a night without telling him.
Is this area familiar? You know where you are? You know how to get back to your place?
Yeah, absolutely. We're almost to Vallaki. It's just another like 2-hour walk from here on the road.
And is your camp on this side of Vallaki or
It's
the
just
other side?
it's just on the south side of Vallaki.
And we're approaching from the south.
We're approaching from the east.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be approaching from the east.
All right. Well,
Okay, let's stick to the edge of the road there.
So-
Anything else you know that
Ara-
you should that
Yeah,
you
Ara-
could tell us?
yeah. Is there anything?
I mean, like, what do you want to know?
Well, you've lived here your whole life. Can you tell us what your life is like?
Well, I've lived in this encampment with the Vistani my whole life. Sometimes I'll sneak into Vallaki. There's some kids there that I like to play with, but I don't really spend a whole lot of time there. The people in Vallaki don't really tend to like our type.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of, I don't know, hostility, as you could say, between the Vallakians and the Vistani.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really go in there very often, but there's a couple kids in our camp, and sometimes other families join us and then move on. It's a pretty nomadic lifestyle for Vistani in general, but we tend to take care of this camp. It's a little bit of an outpost, I would call it.
So when we were at the other Vistani camp, and they were very kind to us. Madame Eva was very kind to us, and
Oh, you've met Madame Eva?
I did, yes.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen her for years.
And they were very kind, and they indicated that they are more or less left alone by Strahd. And is that the
And
case
they
with you as
Give
well?
us their blessing. I mean, seems to me that we got thumbs up from Madame Eva.
You got the thumbs up from Madame Eva. That sounds very beneficial.
You ever find a staff or a spell book or any artifacts that might be considered items of power?
No. Sounds fantastic.
Sounds fantastic. I figured
Yeah.
I would ask.
Yeah.
Flinta,
it's like-
ever the direct.
Yes.
No, I've never found anything like that.
Okay.
What does your particular encampment specialize in? I mean, do you play music? Do you grow things? Do you steal? I mean, what is your how do you
What's
keep,
our economy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
How do you keep your livelihood?
Got any good fight clubs?
There's occasionally some fights that break out in the camp. There's a lot of drinking, that's for sure. But we trade. It's sort of a trading post where
Okay.
other Vistani bring their goods to our camp and trade them with other people from other tribes from the Vistani.
Have you ever had chance to meet some sisters and an older woman selling pies?
No.
Okay.
Don't buy any pies. From
Don't
three
buy the
old
pie.
ladies.
Don't touch them if they come your way. Don't.
They're not good pies.
just
Not good pies.
Stay
just
away from
curious
them, huh?
if they had any interactions with your camp at all.
Not that I'm aware of,
Okay.
but I mean, I'm only 14. I don't know all the politics of what goes on in our camp.
Yeah, there's still two of them wandering around, isn't there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
What's up with these ladies?
Skirt them
Why are
wide.
they so bad?
Well, they clearly have magical powers. We were able to dispose of one and their lair. They disappeared. So they're not happy with
Are
us.
they witches?
I believe they are
Whoa.
of some sort. We don't know what variety. We don't know if they're sorcerers. If they're
So you're
we don't know what the source of their magic is.
So are you guys like monster killers? Like monster hunters?
We're not hunters. We're just kind of
Oh, you could say that.
Flinta. We have done battle. but not out of seeking it out, but rather it finding us.
Have you, wow, that's really exciting. Hold on, I'm looking for something. Have you ever had a chance to meet Dr. Rudolph von Richten? Do you know him? He's a monster hunter too.
No.
Supposedly a really good one.
What is his name? Dr.
Rudolph von Richten.
He's not the dead guy with the thing in his pocket.
I hope he's not dead. I mean,
I hope he's not dead.
all I've ever heard is stories about how he is like a monster killer and he protects people.
What's his name again?
Dr. Rudolph von
von Richten.
Richten. Huh.
I figured if you were monster hunters, maybe you knew him or.
No. We have not come across this man, to our knowledge, unless he was in some form that we didn't recognize. Which is possible because we run into some pretty crazy stuff.
I bet. So where did you come from?
Where did we come from? We started
I'm
out
trying to remember. I think like the whole time
Waterdeep.
you've been here has been like less than 2 weeks.
It
Yeah.
seems like forever.
Yeah.
It seems like months.
Yeah, you did come from. you originated in Waterdeep for sure.
Uh-huh.
5031 Colorado Street.
Oh wow, I've never heard of that land.
No, we came from Waterdeep.
Is that a village in the valley somewhere?
No, it's we found ourselves in this valley by accident. We were on a completely different. We had taken a job to help deliver somebody to get a contract signed and take him back and be his escort, and things went completely sideways. And
That's terrifying.
and here we are. We don't know how to get out, and there's clearly some things that need to be taken care of here. So we're trying to help, I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely some weird things happening around here. There's no question about that. But there always has been ever since I've been around.
But we're not all from Waterdeep, are we?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where I'm from. I just had a strange vision, and then here I was.
Seems to be kind of a common theme.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sorry, are you guys here to kill Strahd?
We got eyes for him.
Well, we're definitely keeping our eyes peeled. We'll just...
He's like the most powerful creature in the land.
Don't pay Flinta. Flinta is just itching for a fight. I think it's best to say at least about this, because we don't know what our relationship is with him or will be with him. I guess time will unfold.
Well, I know he's very powerful, but it seems like you're really powerful monster hunters. So maybe you can help rid the land of Strahd.
We keep hearing that from everybody we meet.
Let's go find your crew.
Yeah.
Okay. So you continue on, and you head towards Vallaki. And in about an hour of walking, you're chatting with Arabelle and walking along. You reach a gate, a large gate, and she's like, "Well, this is Vallaki, and then my encampment is like another hour from here, on the far western."
Should we see if we can find Arena?
Well, are we going to be going... Do we have to go through to... Are we going to be going through the place where the inn is to get to your camp?
No, like our camp is out in the woods.
Let's
south
go
of
to the
town
camp
here.
first.
Yeah.
Let's take Arabelle to camp and get her safe with her family.
Somebody at camp might be
Yeah.
able to help us find Arena easier than us by ourselves.
Yeah,
anyway.
they might. When new people come in, everybody seems to know, and they might have some stories for us.
All right.
Okay. So you're gonna head to the Vistani camp.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. So you continue along, and the road winds itself along what seems to be like a large wall, large upright tree trunks that are sharpened into points at the ends.
Okay.
They're all lashed together in about a 30-foot high wall.
Yeah, sounds like a
And every so
Voyager
often,
outpost.
as you're walking along this road that kind of runs along the outside of Vallaki, which seems to be pretty heavily fortified.
So we're on the outside.
You're on the
We'd
outside.
not go through the gate. Okay.
No.
All right.
Not at this point, unless you want to.
No, I just want to get oriented where the road was.
Okay. So you, so the road just kind of follows, and it's open. It's kind of like an open field sort of area that was cleared of trees, and it looks like the trees were probably used to build this big wall. And then you continue on, and there's a little crossroad area, and another road goes north right through another set of gates into the town. So this is the second set of gates that you've come to. And then you continue, and that as you continue on this road, it kind of dips into the forest again. So now you're walking on the forest, and Arabelle's in the lead. She's all excited, and it's about, at this point, it's probably about 11 a.m. or so, as you're walking through the woods, and eventually you come across this opening in the forest. Let me get to that page here. The woods part to reveal an expansive clearing, a small grass-covered hill with low houses built into its sides. Fog obscures the details, but you can see that these buildings feature elegantly carved woodwork and have decorative lanterns hanging from their sculpted eaves. Atop the hill, above the fog, is a ring of barrel-topped wagons that surround a large tent with a column of smoke pouring out of the hole in the top. The tent is brightly lit from within. Even at this distance, you can smell the odors of wine and horses that emanate from the central area.
The party.
And you can see, since it's daytime, you can see that there's sort of people milling about near the center up on top of the hill. There's folks that are kind of standing around some of these exterior houses. And
Alright, so when we go in here, what are we looking to
Can
do?
we take a quick break right now?
absolutely,
Is that all right?
this would be a great spot to take a break.
That's
All right, let's get back into it.
right,
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this map out here. It's not a tactical map, but it's just to give you a lay of what the camp looks like.
Before we go into camp, I am itching to know what's our, what do we want to know? What do we want to do? We want to come in there and just be totally friendly? We have an agenda?
well, we're returning one of their
We're
children.
returning one
so,
of their kin. What do we want to get out of it? What do we want to learn out of that? We've got some leverage coming our way.
Well, then let's be kind and see what that brings us, and if that doesn't bring us what we want, then maybe we'll be less kind.
All right. Well, we should continue looking for our buddy the wizard's spell book and his staff and all of our artifacts.
I'm
and
also very
info on
curious.
Strahd.
What is this right here?
That's a little house.
Okay.
So basically,
These are all houses.
These are buildings.
Yep, these are low houses that are built almost like tucked against a hill.
Okay.
And this is like a
little-
cone-shaped hill.
Okay.
And then around this ring here are wagons,
Okay.
barrel-topped wagons.
Uh-huh.
And then here is a tent in the middle.
It's quite fractal-like.
Would one of those wagons be looking like a carnival wagon?
Ooh, that's a great question. Roll a
Carnival
perception check.
5, I'm good for nothing.
Boo.
20,
Yeah.
not
I've got
natural.
10. What do you have?
20, not natural.
Well,
Maybe you should get a little bit closer to some of those wagons and see what's going on. But I love
have you ever been to a
carnivals.
carnival before, Enna? Like, would you know what a carnival wagon looks like?
I would think I would, yes.
I would know
because
what a carnival wagon
I'm-
You would,
Yeah.
but you rolled for shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you know what a carnival wagon looks like?
I would know what a carnival wagon, but
Maybe,
I
but
but I
probably
also
not
rolled
first
for
hand.
shit. I have 10.
Yeah, so it could be. Maybe.
Let's-
From
wow.
this distance, it's
It's
hard.
got a lot of elevation. Look at that.
Let's get
It's way
closer.
up on top of the hill.
Is there an opening anywhere in that hill?
An opening
Like
in the
a
hill?
cave or a tunnel or anything going
Anything
into
under.
the, because you have all these houses kind of around it, and then there's this hill. Is there like any kind of entry point underneath the top of the hill?
Not that you can see.
Elliot's the only one that would be able
Okay.
to spot
You don't
that.
think there is.
All right.
Everybody's like, "Come on, guys, let's go!" And she
Alright.
kind of takes off.
All right.
She's running ahead. She's really sad. Father, father, she says. As you're running up, she's running up this way. I assume you're following her.
Yeah. Jeez, I'm glad I got extra speed now.
You're faster than she is. She can only go at 30. So you pass this little house here. And you see a grim gray cloaked figure standing in front of the door to the house. Doesn't say anything, just watches you. Kind of, he looks at you as you pass and watches you as you move past. She runs ahead, doesn't say anything to the guy. You don't notice anything strange. Well, roll a perception check again, I guess, on him.
I'm gonna.
Oh, I'm 19.
15.
11.
I kind of want to talk to him, but I don't think
You can tell that he looks. It's really weird because he looks like he's got elven features, right? He's kind of tall, long. He's got pointy ears. You can see that, but his skin is kind of dark. It's a dark skin, almost like kind of a brown, earthy tone. But that's all you pick up on that as you head forward.
I would
These are good.
probably make some kind of gesture, comment, good day, friend, or something like that.
I'm gonna give a nod.
Yep.
I'll do one of these.
Okay.
Is it
Acknowledge.
Is it a chin up or
acknowledge.
chin down nod?
Acknowledge.
She does a chin up acknowledgement.
Acknowledge.
Okay. And I do a chin down, good to see you. Love to stop and chat, but
Thalamir, do anything
Yes,
with your
girl.
chin?
Can I do a history check to know if I know what kind of elf he is? Because I'm an elf and I might know
Sure.
my cousins
Ooh.
or
Yep.
something.
Excellent.
14.
You have never seen an elf that looks like this before. So you head forward. She runs up. She runs up to the tent in the middle right here, and she's yelling, "Father, Father, Arabelle, Arabelle!" And she runs up. A couple of fellas come out of the tent. There's campfires in the area at different locations with people sitting around them. There's a couple of Vistani that seem to be asleep, maybe taking a siesta, a midday siesta. There's
yeah,
wine
it's
jugs
still
laying
daytime,
around.
like just past midday, right?
Yeah, it's like between 11 and 12-ish, right around there. And then these two men that walk out, one of them rushes forward and grabs Arabelle, and she runs and jumps into his arms, and he, hoists her up and just, "Oh, my dearest Arabelle, where have you been? I've been so worried about you." And the other man kind of walks up behind, and he comes in, and they all do a big hug, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened, but these people right here, my friends, meet my friends, they saved me." And that's when she gestures over to the four of you.
Hello.
Yeah, fine. Happy to meet you.
What happened now? You saved my young daughter?
Yeah, we got her out of a bind, and she brought us back to your camp. Pleased to be here.
Are you hungry? Please come
Sure.
into the. So you go into the tent, and there's someone's cooking some meats over the tent, and there's wine, and he hands you, help yourself. I want to hear all about what happened.
I got my danger sense on, looking for any kind of weirdness that.
Sure, roll a perception now that you're inside the tent.
4.
22.
14.
So Flinta, you're pretty focused. Like you're like, wow, that looks like these guys have been drinking a lot of wine. Like, I'm hungry. This looks great.
Yes.
And the two of you, you can see that these people look like. They look a lot like. Well, you would know that they look a lot like the Vistani that you saw before. They're colorfully dressed. They're very jovial, but they also look like they've seen some action. Like there's scars on their cheeks and
Fresh?
Nothing fresh.
Okay.
But they look like they've been in a couple of scuffles in the past.
Okay.
So they look a little bit rougher than the group
My
that you saw
kind of
before.
people.
Yeah. But they're very welcoming, and Luvash, makes sure that you have food, and then he's like, please, and Arabelle's like, I can't remember anything that happened. I just woke up and I was in this amazing mansion with all this food, and these people were here, and so he's like, well, please, can you tell me, what happened? We've been searching for Arabelle for 2 days in the forest, and we're unable to find her. I thought the worst.
Yeah.
Pretty much was the worst.
Yeah, we came from an island out in Lake Zarovich and found her there, rescued her from a bunch of nasty guys and a big old beast that I don't ever want to caress. I don't
Yeah,
want
we
to
don't.
come across
Nasty
again.
guys. What kind of guys are we talking about? And
Fish guys.
Didn't you have a name for them?
Yeah, we did. I can't remember what they're called.
was this out by Zarovich Landing?
Yes.
Yeah,
It
Yes.
was on the.
He looks over to the guy that was also hugging Arabelle.
Uh-huh.
And he,
Yeah, and I got a feeling Zarovich Landing is hurt, and there was evidence of that might have been that same beast came to shore. So we skirted Zarovich Landing wide on the way over here.
Yeah, everything was slimed, fish slimed, and
Devil's Reef.
we were able to. We got out of a pretty tough scrape there. I barely made it out myself, and we found ourselves. We met a friend in the forest, and who took us in and fed us just like Arabelle, and we were bringing her back.
and Arabelle's like, I think it was the Mad Mage. And they all look at each
Okay.
other and go, the Mad Mage, no one's seen him for decades.
Well, we just saw him.
And then Arabelle kind of starts going off on like how awesome the place was and everything. And he's like, tell me more about these people that took my daughter. And he gets really serious. Like,
Well, here's
were
the thing.
were they people from Zarovich Landing?
We don't know.
I
We
heard
don't
something
know.
about the Order of Dragoon. Might be Dragon. No, Dagon. Order of Dagon.
Yeah, we talked to Brother Thomas, and he told us to stay away from the the island, but we went out there, and there was some kind of ritual happening, and that's where Arabelle was.
The water was all weird. It was all
We were able
viscous.
to. We got out by the skin of our teeth, honestly, and we weren't able to save who Arabelle was with. Who was she with? She was with somebody. There was another person, another.
shorty.
Yeah. And we weren't able to save them, but we were able to save Arabelle and get her out of there, and we came across this Mad Mage, and he took us in and fed us, and now we're trying to find a few things.
Well, I certainly owe you everything, to be quite honest. Arabelle is the only thing that keeps me happy from day to day in this crazy place. Please, I would love for you to stay with us. You're welcome to, eat and drink as much as you'd like. If there's anything that I can help you with, I would be happy to help you. In fact, I would, given the fact that you saved my daughter's life, I would like to offer you something as, I guess, not really a reward, but just an offer of gratitude. And he kind of leans over and he starts talking to the other guy. She's like, that's my Uncle Aragol. He's awesome. And they start talking a little bit.
What's Dad's name?
Luvash.
L-O-U.
Why can't I? There we go. Luvash. And the other guy's name is Aragol, Arrigal. And Aragol kind of sits down and he says, so tell me where you're from. I'm really curious. You don't look like you're from around here.
No, we're traveling. We got into some gates and have been stuck in this realm since. We're traveling from Waterdeep originally. Making our way through now.
From Waterdeep. Not a place that I've heard of.
All right.
Nobody here seems to know
Yeah, you
where
guys
that
don't-
is.
Get out real far and wide.
Well,
Probably because
I
of
mean,
that
you've
big gate.
entered one of the dreaded domains. There's really no way in or out of this place, unfortunately, and we've never been able to crack the code on
No.
where people come from when they enter this realm, or how or if they're able to leave.
Well, if you get out, I don't recommend coming back necessarily.
Yeah, we would love to go beyond the mists and see what else is out there.
If you pardon me, I'm not trying to be rude, but you look as though you've been in some kind of battle or fight.
You've been brawling.
And I mean, and I say this with all respect because we did meet with Vistani before we came here on the other side of the valley, and they did not seem that they were in the shape that you're in. So, can you maybe help us understand your situation?
Well, there's lots of ways to get into scuffles around here, whether it's with the beasts of the forest, which tend to have seemingly become more aggressive as of late. Of course, we oftentimes will fight amongst ourselves for sport. Occasionally, there's scuffles with the local authority out of Vallaki. They're not too fond of the Vistani, and that's putting it mildly. We don't have a very good relationship with them. And we typically don't go into the town. We steer clear of the town.
This seems.
That's Zarovich, right?
No,
Vallaki.
Vallaki.
I'm actually surprised because the other group of Vistani that we were talking to, they almost seem to have a.
Seem like a bunch of hippies.
Well, no, they seemed as though they had some kind of truce with the local authorities, with Strahd, were able to sort of pass without incident.
Strahd doesn't really bother us much.
Okay.
The things that the other Vistani told you apply to us as well.
Okay.
I've been to the Tisser Pools encampment, if that's what you're talking about, Madame Eva and her group, and it's a little bit different on the east side of the valley than it is on here on the west side.
Right.
I don't think the Barovian out of the town of or village of Barovia would have as much resentment towards the Vistani as the people of Vallaki do. It's a little bit different culture over here, I think.
And the reason I'm confused is because I in my head anyway had tied the local authorities to Strahd because he seems to be the ultimate authority in this land. So it would see in my own mind it would seem that they are working on his orders. But is that not the case?
You've not been to Vallaki before.
I haven't. We have not been into the city yet.
And
That's
we
probably
by
going to be our
Vallaki-
next. It's probably going to be our next stop.
Here's what I'll say about Vallaki, is that they do everything they can to avoid any sort of conflict with Strahd. I don't recall there being any sort of conflict in recent years between the town of Vallaki and Strahd, but certainly the stories go way back of him conquering this whole valley with his armies.
They
Right.
like him. They're friends with him. They supporters.
No. In fact, you'll find out if you have the misfortune or the fortune, I guess, depending on which way you look at it, to meet with the burgomaster, Victor. He's a piece of work, this guy. But he believes that just a positive attitude and bringing light into people's lives can hold back the evil. And maybe it works, I don't know. Luckily for the Vistani, we don't really have to worry too much about it. Strahd doesn't really bother us. And that goes way back into the history of the Vistani, back farther than I can even remember. But I'm sure Madame Eva has a lot of information on that sort of thing, or maybe she shared some of that with you.
Any idea where Strahd is if we were looking to find him?
The first place I'd look is Castle Ravenloft. That seems the most logical location. I don't know why you'd seek him out unless you have business with the
Might
devil.
be looking for a fight. Someday.
Just curious.
Do you have any-
I roll to this direction.
Yeah, well, if you're looking for a fight, I would maybe look elsewhere.
What's the Vallaki authority beef with you? What's their beef? What's their problem?
There's a lot of rumors about the Vistani that you may or may not have encountered about how we are in cahoots with Strahd. Mm-hmm. Totally unfounded, but that doesn't stop the authorities in Vallaki from persecuting our kind when we're when we do enter the village. There's been some incidents where some of our Vistani haven't come back from Vallaki. That's a problem. So yeah, mainly it's I would just chalk it down to pure racism.
Yeah.
They just don't like us, and no matter what we do or say, or no matter how many times we help them by bringing goods into Vallaki that they can't get anywhere else, they still treat us like second-class citizens.
Speaking of different races, what's we're curious to know about your encampment is curiously placed. You have these houses, and we noted a gentleman that we were not familiar with. We've never seen his kind before. Very grim-faced man in front of one of the houses in the path that we came in.
Gray cloak.
Can you maybe explain this to us?
Sure. Those are you may probably have never seen this type of man, air quotes, but these are dusk elves. The history of the dusk elf I don't know much about. I guess you could talk with Casimir a little bit. He's the leader of the elves. I imagine he'd be happy to chat with you if he's around. They have had a very rough history, though. I know that they're pretty dour. They're not cheerful like the Vistani.
So what is their relationship with the Vistani camp and these houses?
They have no place else to go, and we.
Do they live in the houses they're
They
standing
do.
in? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And we took them in.
Oh, okay.
Yep. We consider them to be friends, although we don't really spend a lot of time, hanging out with
socializing?
them. Yeah, I mean they live right here, but they sort of keep to themselves. Like I said, we like to party, and they're dealing with some cultural trauma.
Where are they from?
They're from, I would imagine,
That's
Barovia. Yeah,
somewhere.
from the area.
Okay.
Do you have any information on Argynvolstholt or the Amber Temple?
These are great questions. Yes.
Nice job.
Let's see, what does he have to say? He says that yes, the Amber Temple and Argynvolstholt are locations that are not that far from where we are. And so he draws out like a little map for you, which I'm not going to give you this map because this has too much information, but I will provide you. Yep, I will provide you with a map next time.
Okay.
But he kind of draws out with some charcoal out of the fire pit, sort of like, here's where we are with an X, and he makes like a little hill, and then and he says, here's where Argynvolstholt is, and Argynvolstholt is where is it?
Got all kinds of good stuff over there, Dave.
Yeah. It's like to the south of where you are right now. And then what was the other spot you asked about?
The Amber Temple.
The Amber Temple is like, I've heard of the Amber Temple, but I feel like that's sort of like I don't know much about it. I would maybe ask, you could talk to Casimir, and he might know more about that. I'm not sure where that is, to be honest with you. I know it exists. It's somewhere to the south, but I couldn't even put it on this map. He says.
We're looking for some items for an old friend that's misplaced them. A spell book, a staff, and some artifacts.
Well, and as you say that, Luvash comes back and says, yes. So, again, thank you so much for helping to bring Arabelle back to us. He says, I heard you asking about a couple of items. Who are you? Whose staff and whose spellbook are you looking for? We have not found anything. We could certainly keep our eyes open for are these powerful magical items?
It's items that we're looking to collect if we ever wanted to go out and beat up on Strahd, we would want to round those up first.
Arabelle says, well, we haven't found anything like that, but we could certainly keep our eyes peeled. You seem to have a strong desire to face Strahd.
Well,
And Arabelle goes, yeah, these guys are monster hunters like Dr. Rudolf von Richten.
I was just about to ask about him. Arabelle was talking about this.
You haven't heard of Rudolf von Richten?
No, we have not.
Oh yeah, totally. He's like a famous monster hunter. There's like stories that have been written about this guy.
Well, we haven't read them, so
Oh,
can
really?
you enlighten us?
Everybody roll a history check real quick.
Nope, nat 20.
16.
16, 9, and you got a nat 20?
I got a nat 20.
Holy shit. All right.
Yes.
So,
Spill it.
so he starts talking, and as he starts talking, your memory gets jogged pretty good, and you start to remember some stories
He's a fellow fighter.
about this Rudolf von Richten, and he's written a series of books, monster hunting manuals.
Monster hunting
He is a famous monster hunter that has traveled the realms, seeking out some of the most powerful evil and vanquishing it. Now, the Vistani and
Is he still alive?
well, that's a great question. Who knows? I mean, he's human, so he doesn't live as long as the elves do, for example. As long as your kind, but I have no idea how old he would even be. But he goes on and talks to you about this guy, and like they start telling tales, and then some of the other guys chime in and say, yeah, I remember hearing when I was a kid about how von Richten was like the scary story that monsters told their children. To make them behave themselves and things like that. So you hear all these like anecdotal stories about this guy's triumphs against werewolves and mummies and fighting like hordes of undead and finding these powerful items that have helped him to like unlock mystical knowledge and all this kind of stuff.
Getting more and more interested
And
in him all the time.
Yeah, and you remember a lot of stories like this. And so you're like, oh yeah, I've definitely heard of this guy. You don't necessarily know any additional information, but you recognize this now. Like you're like, oh yeah.
Did we
Yeah,
hear
I've
anything
heard
about
about
where
this.
he might have lived or?
That is
Where he was
that
last
I don't
seen?
know. Yeah, again, like to us, he's sort of like a folk hero.
Okay.
It's not like a guy that we've ever met.
All right.
Yeah, these are like stories that we've heard that, like people would tell each other to make them feel better about the situation that we are. Maybe someday Dr. Rudolph will show up in Barovia and take care of Strahd. Wouldn't that be great? That's what Arabelle says, and then Arabelle just kind of chuckles and kind of pats her on the back and says, "Don't get your hopes up, young lady. We'll just keep doing what we do," and so they continue on for a while and they tell you about more stories and that sort of thing.
Oh, this is a lot of information to take in.
A lot of information.
I'm trying to think of what else might.
As you guys are talking, wine is being poured. They're very liberal, even though it's only like 2 p.m. They don't care. Their daughter, his daughter is back. He's happy that she's alive. They're basically celebrating that she's been returned. And at some point, as I don't know if Smitty's definitely drinking wine, so he's getting schnockered.
Yeah.
You kind of look over and Smitty is like almost ready to pass out.
He loves that wine.
Yep. But and Luvash is getting a little sauced, and he's getting more jovial, and he's like, so as I mentioned, I wanted to provide you with some gratitude for bringing Arabelle back to us. And he says, I have 6 wagons, and he says, within each wagon is a bit of treasure. And he says,
I like treasure.
I would like you to choose one of the wagons, and that treasure within is yours. And I like this because it adds a bit of chance, which we love. And all of us are like, this sounds great! Whoa! Kazaa!
Flinta, you're up. Which one is the carnival wagon?
Carnival wagon.
Yes.
We're definitely not carnies.
No.
And now that you're closer, you look around. All the wagons look the same. They all look like colorful Vistani wagons. Yeah.
I didn't see a carnival wagon.
Yeah. You would know.
I would know.
Yeah.
All right.
I say we go for 4.
I say,
Give me a moment.
I kind of whisper to you, hey, if you get a chance to go and peel out and take a yard peek, go and check out the wagons. Let me
No
know if I'm
cheating.
pick.
Luvash says,
Oh,
"Come on,
dirty
no
dog.
cheating."
Oh dang it! I was gonna do a little invisibility.
And then one of the-
I was gonna do a little invisibility.
And then one of the other guys says, "Yeah, you mean like how you didn't cheat the other night playing dice, Luvash?" And he's like, "Oh, I never cheated." And they kind of get in a little bit of an argument.
Guess I was gonna do a little invisibility on that. Sucker.
My gears are turning toward creating a diversion. Maybe getting a little tussle with somebody, grapple with somebody, and
Are you saying this out loud?
no, that's what I'm thinking
Oh,
in my
you're
head.
thinking, okay.
I'm trying to figure out how. I'm kind of thinking of making a spectacle and.
What kind of, how many feet
Yeah,
is
we're all
this?
we're all at 10.
Is this
The circle?
this like where the
Those are
wagon?
five. So you
guys
the
are
wagons.
inside here.
Right.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to, like how many feet is the wagon?
Oh, how
Like-
big are the wagons?
No, like okay.
How far away?
Like here we are. How far to the first, second, third,
Oh,
fourth,
got it.
fifth? Like I need to know.
So at this point, you've all stepped outside the tent.
Yep.
And he's like, "These 6 wagons." He's like, "Now you can't peek, but you can choose one of them." And so the first one is 10 feet away. 15 is the next one. 20. So the closest one is 5.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, excuse me. The closest one is 10.
Uh-huh.
And then there's 2 that are 15.
Uh-huh.
There's 2 that are 20.
Uh-huh.
And there's 1 that's 25.
Okay. So maybe if you want to create a diversion, I can shapeshift to cat and kind of take a little peek inside and see what I can find out inside the.
Anybody want to wrestle?
We're doing a.
Anybody want to wrestle?
Wrestle?
Wrestle.
Sure.
All right.
You see this big guy come out of one of the tents.
Oh,
and he's like
Jesus.
about 6'10",
Yep.
and he's just ripped, just built, and he's like, and they're like, "Yeah, this is hold on, I have a list of names somewhere. I don't think I wrote all my names down. But,
I'm slowly stepping away, backing like in the guise of backing off into the
This is
crowd
Igor.
that's the crowd
Igor.
that's the crowd that's gathering around. I'm kind of melding into that crowd.
Oh no, here we go. This is Alec. So Alec comes out and he's just ripped. You're kind of sneaking off to the side.
Yeah, because I'm gonna shift to cat, and I don't want to be seen doing that. So I'm kind of
Okay.
melding into the crowd, and because I'm figuring there's gonna be other cats around, running around, dogs, cats.
Sure. Okay.
I'm gonna try to.
So all the drunk Vistani guys and everybody starts coming out, and Luvash picks up Arabelle and kind of sits her up on his shoulders, and they start, like, you hear like the guys are making bets and stuff, like they're starting to gamble. This is great, and Luvash kind of forgets a little bit about the whole pick a wagon thing for the moment. He's like, this is cool, and
So you guys got any traditional feats of strength or anything? Anything? Any?
yeah, I'm
Tussles
going to
you like to
punch
do.
you in the face repeatedly. That's what Igor says.
Alec.
Yeah, we
Alec.
call him Alec, but we like to call him Igor too. Okay, so no weapons, just straight up
Fine.
hand-to-hand combat.
Fine.
All right, roll initiative.
13 plus something.
Usually 3.
Why do I always lose my... Yeah, plus 3. So 16.
Okay, you get the jump on him. As
All
he
right.
comes forward.
Rage.
Just been itching for the rage.
We might go... No, just straight rage and hand-to-hand. So, I'm without the axe. So what's my damage hand to hand?
It's gonna be a punch is. Go to the combat section and find out what a punch is for me.
Does it vary?
And then you add
creature
your
to
strength
creature?
bonus.
Oh, you add strength.
Okay, so I
Oh, you have a +4.
Yeah, and then I'm raging, so I get another +2, and then I think
Well, the +2 is to damage,
Okay.
not the 2 to strike.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Igor.
Wait, do you get 3 attacks because you're raging?
Well, if he uses frenzy.
Oh, are you gonna use
If
frenzy?
you use frenzy, you can attack with your bonus action too, but you
Can
also
I-
get a point of
Can
exhaustion.
I add frenzy depending on how things are going?
You have to
think I
declare
can.
it before you attack. But you don't have to use it right away. You can wait till your second or third round. But if you want to use it this round,
Well, I want
you
to
have
try to keep away from getting the extra exhaustion.
Yeah.
And he
We're
might not.
gonna do a long rest anyway.
Probably.
We're drinking a lot of wine. I think there's probably going to be a long rest
Whether we want to or
in our
not.
near future.
And I kind of, as we're making our way around, work to diffuse it just a little bit. Like, hey, I want to stay friends here, but I'm not scared to.
Oh, now you're trying to
Punch
talk
him
your
a
way
little
out of it. This little girly man who wants to talk his way. Wait, are you a girl or a man?
Oh, that's when it's on.
There's the fight
Can't even
words.
tell.
Yep, that's when it's on. I don't have punch on here. I got weapons.
I'll find it. Hold on. I think it's 1d6, but
Well, I'm gonna grab something then.
Well,
I'm gonna grab a club. No, we
Well,
can't.
you
We're not
can,
supposed to.
but he
We're not
said-
supposed to
yeah,
do
that
weapons.
was-
Yeah, you're
Okay.
trying to keep it friendly,
Yeah, I'm
man.
trying to
You
keep
don't
it
wanna
friendly.
be weaponizing.
an unarmed strike deals bludgeoning damage equal to 1 plus your strength modifier.
Okay.
is it just guaranteed hit then?
No, you still have to roll to hit.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
a D20, so that's.
Yep.
good.
So you're just a d20, and then 1 point of damage plus your strength modifier.
Nat 20.
Oh shit! So that's a critical hit. All right. So roll. So it's
So it's
2 points
20.
of damage plus your. What's your modifier for strength?
+4.
So you just did 6 bludgeoning damage. So you basically, he's like, yeah, it's a girl, and boom, and you just crack him across the jaw, and you can just see his face go, and the big old splat of blood goes, and hits one of the other Vistani behind him, and they're all like, yeah! They get super fired up.
Don't forget you get another one though.
Don't call me a girl.
Nice. And so yeah, you have, don't you have extra attack?
Yeah, you get another one.
So yeah, so you get another swing at him before he gets to swing at you.
Oh, Flinta. Oh, no.
No, that
And that
one
one's 7.
That misses. So you crack him, you do some serious damage to him, and then he kind of stumbles, and you take another swing, and he just kind of like ducks out of the way, and then he comes back at you with the right hook. And a 10?
Ooh.
So he misses. And he doesn't have another attack, so then it's back to you.
And we got 9 + 4 is 13.
That hits.
All right.
So roll damage. Or you
And-
don't roll damage, it's just 1 plus
Just
your
one.
plus your strength
+4,
modifier.
so it's 5.
Okay. 5 damage. Okay. He's looking pretty beat up. He's
You
like,
get another one too.
Yeah, and I get another one too. And that's 5 + 4 is 9.
that one misses.
Okay.
And as he ducks out of the way, he kind of weaves and then boom hits you with a left hook. Ooh, natural 20.
Oh.
So that means he does 5 bludgeoning damage to you.
Okay.
So you take a crack in the face.
But
and-
being that I'm raging, I get half of that, right?
correct.
Okay. So that's 2.5. Is that 2 or is that 3?
2.
Okay.
So you take 2 bludgeoning damage and your nose stings a little bit. And
Yeah.
A little bit of blood starts coming out. Really ticks you off.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn again.
14 + 4.
That hits?
Is, yep. 18 and 5.
So it's 1 plus your. So it's 5.
Yep.
Okay, he's staggering. Like he's
And then
getting.
clock
And
him again.
everybody's like, hit him again.
Yep. 13 plus 4, 17.
Yep. So at that, he goes down.
Okay.
You drop this big behemoth. He just, and the dust kind of flies up, and everybody's like, yeah! They love it. And as that's happening, a couple of the guys and a woman, there's 3 of them. They come over and they grab Igor and they like start slapping him across the face
All right,
and bringing him
You
back.
two are.
I've changed my mind. I'm
investigating.
not going cat. I'm gonna do pass without a trace because I want to be able to open doors.
Okay, so now while all that's happening,
Yeah, while all that's happening,
What are you doing?
I'm pass without a trace.
Okay.
And I'm checking.
So that gives you plus 10 to your stealth rolls.
That gives me plus 10 bonus to dexterity stealth checks. Yeah.
Okay.
And can't be tracked except by magical means.
Okay.
And I'm checking the wagons.
Okay.
One by one. I'm
Okay.
sticking my head in to see which one is the winner.
Okay.
Winner chicken dinner.
So there's 6 of them.
And they're
I would
and
say-
I have 30 feet on this and up to an hour, so I should be good.
While that fight just happened, all that stuff that's happening probably lasted about 30 seconds.
Oh my god.
So I would say you probably have enough time to look into one of them,
Okay.
you know, while the fight's happening. You
All
can
right.
look in, you can get away with one. You can continue to try to do more, but the fight, like that distraction won't quite be as great.
All right.
Does that make sense?
I disagree just a little bit. I'm entertainer gladiator, looking to stretch it out, looking to buy time.
You
while
can do that in a
she's-
minute.
There
You can
was-
try that in a second.
there
but
was-
first we're gonna do the.
There was
first
trash
one.
talk before they even started
was-
swinging, and I was like,
To get to each one of these and
Yeah.
to look in and like evaluate it takes longer than.
okay, well, I'm
than
starting with
fight.
the one farthest away.
But
Okay.
I feel a little bit. I feel a little bit slighted with entertainer gladiator. being
I'll
able
give you a
buy
chance to
some
try
time.
to use it, but you didn't say you were going to do that. So,
All right,
and
all
we already
right.
went over to her.
And
So,
say everything.
yeah, we'll come back to that. You can't just like jump back and try it, but you can use it next.
Okay.
So you look into the first one and
No, I went to the farthest one away.
yeah. So the first one that you're looking.
Oh
into.
yeah, first one
Yep,
I'm looking into.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can see that there is a chest, a wooden chest inside
Okay.
this.
All right.
Inside this particular wagon.
All right.
There's like clothing and other things that are kind of stacked up. There's some jugs of like wine that are empty. It looks like.
Okay.
But there's definitely a chest,
Okay.
a wooden chest.
All right. I'm not gonna try to get into the chest.
Okay.
Um.
So you hear like all that's happening outside.
Yeah, because
the fight is
I've got to get
taking
in and
place.
out that door without people seeing the door move and all of that.
Well, and essentially these are wagons, so you're basically kind of like pulling back the curtains and kind
Okay.
of like
Right.
peering in.
Right.
So that kind of takes about as much time as it took for this whole fight to happen.
All right.
And now we can go back to you. And so what are you doing with your?
Yeah, how am I going to buy some more time?
You could
So
dance
the
around
ladies are
with your fists
and
in
a
the
couple
air
of
or
guys and
something.
ladies are like slapping him, splashing water in Alex's face and kind of bringing him back. He's like super dazed and bloody, and his face is all like.
And I'm
Beat
looking
up.
to just tussle around and not get in a
Well,
whole gang war, so I might be helping out. And hey, buddy, you all right? I didn't mean to knock you out.
So you kind of come in and you're talking to him, and he's like, no, and Luvash was like, that was a fair fight. That was great, Alec, man. You gotta work on your technique. Obviously, this our new friend here really took it to you. And so you're kind of having this conversation. That buys you enough time to look in another one.
Okay.
So I imagine you go to that one right
Yep.
next to it,
Mm-hmm.
and you look in there and you see in that. You pull back the curtain, you peer in, and there's an iron chest.
Okay.
In that one.
All right. Do either of these chests have locks on them?
Roll perception.
16.
You did not see a lock on either of the chests.
Okay.
Yep. And so now, like the wine, they're refilling everybody's wine glasses and stuff like that. And
Maybe.
roll
is there
a stealth check for me.
Me?
Yeah.
Remember to add all your good stuff.
Nat 20.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that buys you enough time to look in another one.
Okay.
Yep. And so you look in a third.
I'm working my way farthest to, so I run across to the other one.
Okay.
So like, cause I'm working my way back towards the crowd so that I can blend back in.
Got it.
So
Okay.
That's
So
my plan.
in this one, you see you see a really nice jewelry box with like gold filigree highlights on it.
Okay.
And then, like the sort of like just stuff strewn about, supplies and other stuff, but you see like this really nice like jewelry box.
Okay.
Yep. Roll another stealth check. Let's see if you can get to the next one.
Probably not. 4,
Plus a bunch.
14, 16.
Yeah, you're able to get to the fourth one, and you see there's a wooden throne that has a bunch of gold inlay and decorative stones. You can't really tell what the stones are,
Okay.
but it's a pretty big, like, it looks like a throne, like
Okay.
a big chair.
All right.
Really ornate.
All right.
You want to try for another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
21, 25.
Oh, yeah. So, and then you see in the fifth wagon, as you peer in, you see that there is what looks to be, you can't tell because it's rolled up, but it looks like it's a really, like, well-crafted rug.
Okay. So you have a rug, a throne, jewel box, iron
Chest.
wooden chest.
I'd say the iron chest looks the best.
There's one more.
You want to try for it?
Yeah.
All
There's,
right.
There's
So
one more.
roll another stealth check.
18 plus, I forget. 20.
Okay, you look in. You make a look into the sixth, and you see all you see is a small wooden box in this one. And as you're sort of like closing the curtains and sort of walking back, someone comes up. One of the Vistani women comes up and hands you a big mug of wine. Come on back to the group, and so everybody's kind of like celebrating. And Alec is he's hunched over, but he's got a goblet of wine, and he's kind of drinking it. It's kind of falling down his chin and everything, but everybody's super excited and happy, and like a bunch of the guys are like patting you on the shoulders and like. They're like, where'd you learn how to fight like that? They want to know like your secrets, and they're trying to like do, some of them are scuffling with each other now just to kind of like
Practice.
reenact and stuff. They're like, yeah, and then he did this, and then it's like, ow! He punches his buddy and stuff. So they're kind of having fun with it. And then finally, Luvash says, okay, so. I would like to present you finally, if you'd let me. I'd like to present you with a token of my gratitude.
Well, I think we need to have a conversation.
Of course.
And amongst ourselves, if you can give us just a moment.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
So, come here. This one's got a wooden chest in it. That one's got an iron chest in it. This one's got a little jewel box. This one's got a throne. Another one's got a rug that's rolled up. Couldn't see what was inside of it. And a small wooden box in this one. So I didn't have time to open up any of this stuff. So I think we can discard the throne right out of the gate. I think that's maybe not the we're
Carve the jewels out of it. But
and then the prophecy said the
carnival wagon.
carnival wagon, therein lies what you seek.
I would say the iron chest is the best.
That was my gut reaction too.
Yeah, of having
I got something about
weapons
that
or something in it.
small box though. What are we really looking for? We're looking for
we don't-
artifacts and
She didn't say what we're looking for. It just says therein lies what you seek, and we don't even know what we're seeking. I mean, if we're lucky enough to happen upon a spell book or a staff, that'd be
Yes.
awesome. I mean, that might be in the rug, the staff, but I don't know if
I'd
we.
still go
I don't
with
know if
iron
we'd be.
chest.
I don't know that we'd be that lucky to find either one of those things.
I'd say iron chest.
That was my gut reaction, was iron
Yeah.
chest, but kind of.
yeah, I can support that.
All right. We're gonna take.
What's behind door number 2?
Yeah,
Yeah,
wagon
yeah.
number 2.
Yeah. We're gonna take
Oh,
that one
fantastic!
right over there.
And he snaps his fingers, and two of his guys go over and they lift this heavy iron chest out of the wagon, and they bring it over and they set it down in front of you. And you open it up, and as you raise the lid, you look inside, and there's just a big old pile of gold
Oh,
Like the biggest pile of gold you've ever seen.
holy mackerel!
And Luvash is like, very good choice. He's like, damn. I was really hoping you wouldn't take that one. He says there's approximately, and there's exactly, 650 gold pieces in this.
Wow.
So
That's the most
gotta
gold that
split
any
that.
of you have ever had.
Yeah, 650 divided by 4 is what?
Very good choice.
Very good choice.
Now you're rich as well as a local hero. No one's ever bested Alec before. Nicely done.
He's a good warrior.
I think we
And
should.
a worthy
I think we should
opponent.
celebrate with more food and wine. What do you say?
That sounds great to me.
So they just keep bringing in the wine and the food, and
Yep.
and the day goes on. And if you want, you can. I don't know if you want to do anything else right after you find the gold, but the day continues in the very
I want to
same
secure my portion.
celebratory
Yeah,
way.
split it
I want to secure my portion on my person.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
kind of stuff like all your pockets with
Yeah,
gold.
And is there anything else in the wagon besides the
I don't
chest?
trust this crew here, and I want to make sure that they how else would they have this if they didn't light finger it a little bit? So I think can I do a perception check on this gold? I want to make sure that it's not spelled or cursed or something,
Let's see, cursed or spelled.
or otherwise. Is it more than what it appears to be?
That would be, I would say, an investigation check.
Okay.
Yep. So go ahead. You can make an investigation check.
It's just yeah. It's not gonna tell me anything. I got a big old.
It looks
6.
like gold.
I got a big old 6.
It looks like real gold. You just you kind of take a bite. You know how
Yeah.
they bite the gold.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
yeah, that's good stuff.
or like Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah. You like hold it up and you're like, yep,
162.
this is some good
and
stuff.
Then 2 left over.
Yeah, and I think you get one of the extras and I get one of the extras because we did
Yeah.
the heavy lifting.
All right,
there.
so divvy that up, put that amount on your character sheets, and then someone.
163. Smitty better be thanking us
Yeah,
big time.
somebody
I
reminds
just
me.
messaged him.
Okay. Great.
And I already had quite a bit, so let's see. 168, 6, 1, 8, and I got 286 gold pieces. Very nice.
I have 168.
I don't think mine says 313. I think it says 33.
Yeah, that would be more than you guys would have at this
Yeah.
point. You guys are rich now.
Yeah. Is there anything else in the wagon? Gold is awesome, but
No,
anything else
that
in
was
there?
it.
Okay.
That was it. You got an iron chest filled with gold.
So, just out of curiosity, how much would it cost me to take a look inside that another wagon?
Very interesting.
Is there a price on that?
He says, just to take a look?
Well,
What good is a look?
maybe there's something in there that I would prefer, or maybe there's something in there. How about if I bet you? How about if I offer you half of my portion to have something from another cart?
So you're gonna give me back.
Whoa there.
80 gold pieces.
80
I'll give you
gold
80
pieces.
gold pieces to have something from another cart.
He's had a lot of booze at this point, so if you want, you can roll a persuasion check.
Or I could charm person.
Do you have that?
This is
spell?
not the cart you're
I've
looking for.
got a charm person spell here.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna charm person you.
You pretty confident you can do it without him knowing?
Yeah, that's part of the spell,
Okay.
I believe. I better
That's
double.
what you
Yeah,
did.
you
on
better-
the-
I better double check that.
That's
Let
what you
me
did on
double
the
check
Sister
that.
Witch.
Let me. Yeah, but she was more powerful than me. But this guy, I don't think that's the case. So, this might be the perfect time for this. Attempt to charm a humanoid you can see within range. Must make a wisdom saving throw. It does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. Not fighting it. So If it fails on the saving throw, it's charmed by you until the spell ends or until you and your companions do anything harmful to it. Charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want it to know that I was charming it.
Okay.
So, so I'll do a... I'm sorry, what did you say?
A persuasion check?
Persuasion.
Sure. So you're trying to persuade Luvash
To
take
take
80 gold.
To take 80 gold.
In exchange for...
You know what? Maybe not 80. How about 50?
That's up to you.
I'm going to say 50.
I thought you said 80, as he says.
Well, do you want it or not?
I don't know. Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Okay, we got to agree on the amount before we go any further with this.
She's like, I don't know if I can do... I'm not sure if this
Split it
is...
down the middle.
I don't know.
He doesn't know. You can try to...
75.
You can try to tell him.
Like, you know what?
You're trying to persuade him in... He can't agree until you...
You know what? How about this? We have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carts. How about 2 carts for 100?
And what do you want to do with the carts?
I want to look inside and take what's in there. Like, you know, you know, if there's, I mean, you said this was a good choice, but, you know, does that mean that there's nothing in the other carts? I don't think so. I think there might be some other things in those other carts, and
well, of course there are.
And because I know that you want to reward us at some level, so I would very much like to.
He's like, didn't I just wait? Yeah. Arabelle, didn't we just reward them with 650
And
gold
you did,
pieces?
and we thank you very much. But you like a game of chance.
I'm pretty happy with my gold.
And I'm not taking your gold. I'm not taking your gold. This is between me and Luvash.
All right, roll persuasion.
Because he's a man of chance, and I think he might be interested in letting me
it's pretty good.
risk 100 gold pieces for what might be in, you know, behind doors number 3 and 5 or whatever.
All right.
Okay.
Roll a persuasion check.
19. Persuasion. 22.
He looks at you and he's like, well, doesn't seem to add up, but you did save my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you go in one more. One more wagon, and that's it.
All right, but I'm not.
Don't get greedy, or you might end up leaving with nothing.
All right, but I'm not going to give you 100 for one.
How much?
50.
Deal.
All right. Hold on a minute. Let me count out my coins. Oops.
Jeez, I need a lot of gold.
Yeah, that's a lot of gold.
Gold.
What are you gonna do with all that gold?
Be careful with it.
So.
Are there any
Make it out of
things you
here.
can buy, like in the city?
Oh yeah, there's shops in the city for sure.
So
All kinds of crazy stuff in the city.
that 5th one I looked in that had the rug in it.
Yes.
I forget which order I went.
Yeah,
I went.
that's the one you want to look
That's
at.
the one I want to look
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
look in the rug.
So you point over and he's like, okay. And he goes over and he opens up the wagon and you walk over with him and he pulls this big carpet out and he sets it down on the ground and there's like 2 twine ropes that are tying it all together. He undoes those and rolls it out and it's like one of the most beautiful rugs you've ever seen. Handmade, woven, gold inlay. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful.
This is truly a work of art, and I will treasure it. Thank you for your game of chance. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for bringing my daughter back to us. And with that, they start up. So you've got a 10-foot square rug with an exquisite unicorn motif.
Does it fly?
Sounds like the side of a 70s van.
Yep,
All
totally.
right, so 10-foot rug.
Yep. And that's got to be pretty heavy to carry
Yeah, I
around.
know.
So
I know.
Oh, Jesus.
you now have a heavy rug.
I know
I don't
that.
wanna carry that.
I know, but we can trade it in the city.
Probably for more than
Right.
50 gold.
Yeah, so shut up.
I know who's carrying that.
Flinta, come on, man. I thought the staff might be inside.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, any other sort of like interactions that you want to have with either of the with any of these people. Luvash, Arabelle has gone to sleep. It's getting to be nighttime now at this point.
Is
So
there a
she's-
safe place we can bed down?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you're welcome to stay here for the night. You can stay
Totally
in the
inquire
tent
with somebody
here.
else.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You can stay in the main tent with the rest of the group. That's probably the safest place that I can think of in the whole valley.
Will we have an opportunity to have a chance to talk to Casimir?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you could try to, for sure.
And it's getting dark and late. Maybe tomorrow is a better day for that.
Possibly in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
All right. I want to be respectful of his time, and if they're feeling heat from and are on the defensive, I'd rather approach, friendly and fresh.
Okay.
I think it's best.
That sounds great. I'll introduce you. Luvash says, "I'll introduce you to Casimir in the morning."
Thank you.
Have an opportunity
Thank
to
you,
chat with
Luvash.
him.
We so appreciate your generosity. The Vistani camps have been very kind to us, and we appreciate it.
You're gonna really enjoy that rug. I'm really excited for you. I hope you have some place to put it. That thing is sweet. Those unicorns are fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. So the night winds down, and everybody's still drinking pretty heavily and singing, and everybody's carrying on and having a great time.
Totally make rounds of talking, chatting, and
I'm not. I've laid off the hooch. I'm kind of trying to keep my eyes on things,
Okay,
but
so you're kind of keeping a steady.
yeah,
steady eye on
I'm
things.
talking with people and
Yeah.
such. But my mug is filled with not wine.
Okay, they have plenty of like spring water as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and tons of food and that sort of thing. It's mostly like meat and like root vegetables, potatoes, carrots, and things like that. Not a lot of like fruit or anything like that, but it's good food. It's stew, really hearty. So you're all feeling pretty good. And as the night progresses, people start to sort of peter out and fall asleep and pass out. And
what else would Smitty do?
Smitty's wasted. He's
Oh yeah,
passed
he's
out.
been passed out
Yeah.
for hours. He's
Yeah.
probably scooped up a few bottles of that wine and stuck it in his pocket too.
He's
We
he's
know
just
him.
snoring away over in the corner.
He would
and-
be curious about what is it, the Wizard Winery, the White
Yeah,
Wizard
he's
Winery.
probably asked about
Sure.
that.
So one of the things that you're able to talk with one of the Vistani about is the fact that even though they seem to celebrate as if the wine will never run out, their wine reserves are almost depleted. And he says, I have a feeling that Luvash would be willing to let you take a look at some more of those wagons if you were to maybe head over to the Wizard of Wine's winery and see what the deal is with our wine shipments. We've been having a hell of a time getting any wine. In fact, we sent someone out there, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days ago, and hasn't come back yet. But if you were interested in going and grabbing a shipment of wine for us and replenishing our supplies, I'm sure Luvash would be interested in rewarding you again.
That sounds like a job right up our alley.
I think we should go to Vallaki first, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we've all had a few beverages. Maybe we should revisit this conversation in the morning.
We shouldn't go right now?
No, not right now,
Okay.
Flinta. Calm down. Put a band-aid on your face. Something.
Oh, I only took 2 damage. That wasn't even take worse than that trying to shave.
Yeah, if you guys can procure 6 barrels of wine for us, that would be fantastic.
That sounds like
We'll give it some thought.
we'll give it some
All right. So, any other questions for some of these random Vistani guys that are still hanging out, and ladies? They're singing songs, playing instruments. It's just super fun. Like, you don't even need to roll an insight check to know that these people are just having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just you again, the only time you've ever like seen like true happiness since you've been here has been with the Vistani.
Right.
Like everybody else seems like they're on high alert or they're like ready to just crumble to pieces.
I would like to inquire about all of our objectives, Strahd, and the Golden Gates and things like that, but I'm a little bit apprehensive of bringing up bad stuff, and being too direct. And
Well-
I kind of already asked about him anyway.
Well, I'm just nosy. Tell me about this Burgermeister. Like, what's his gig? I mean, where'd he come from? Who is he?
His
Is he
father
is he,
was
is he
the-
local? Is he?
Yeah,
what's...
totally. His father was the burgomaster before him, and he was even worse. Like, these guys are, you know, they're born into their role, and they've wielded power over the village. It's nepotism.
I just can't.
Basically.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't wrap my head around this. I can't. How somebody could be in charge locally if Strahd is in charge of everything overall. I can't.
Oh, I see what you're
I
saying.
can't put my head in that
Sure.
place.
Well, we don't really live, you know, the Vistani, we don't really have a hierarchical structure to the way
Right.
we live.
Right.
You know, Luvash is sort of our leader, but he doesn't make the decisions around here. We make
Right.
decisions on our own or together. It's a little chaotic. The city has a city structure just like any other town, probably the Waterdeep where you're from.
Right.
But the burgomasters are typically the tax collectors. And then they will deliver the taxes to the Baron, who is Strahd. So the master of this realm is the one who the taxes belong to. So the burgomasters are simply administrators.
Right. But it just still seems to me that I don't know. It just something doesn't compute there.
I totally agree. You know, really, with the one thing that
Probably not a word I would use. Compute.
Yeah. What does that mean? One thing that that the Baron, the Burgomaster Vargas Vallaki, one thing that he does differently is he kind of tries to pretend like everything is just okay, like everything is going okay, and he does a lot of like parties and festivals. Seems like every couple of weeks there's another festival happening in Vallaki.
A festival in this mist, dark
It's bizarre.
nonsense. What that makes no sense.
They have one festival almost every single week. It's ridiculous. And everybody is forced to go to the festival.
Oh.
People are forced to go, and I guess they're celebrating, or it's some sort of way to protect themselves from Strahd or something. It's pretty silly, but that's what they do.
Is there anything consistent from festival to festival? From festival to festival, is there one thing that would for sure be consumed or done, or activity that it happens at every single one?
We don't go to them, so
Okay.
I'm not sure. We just hear about it from some of the people that we do business with.
Thank you.
Yeah, but they do have festivals regularly, and yeah. I mean, the only thing else I can tell you about the Burgomaster is that he does have sort of like his chief of staff, or his henchman, or his chief of security. His name is Isaac Strasny. He is a terrible person. I would definitely, when you're in Vallaki, I would steer clear of Isaac Strasny. Very violent, cruel, and has no sense for justice by any stretch of the imagination, even though he is charged with administering justice in the city for the Burgomaster. He's not a good person.
Oh, thanks for the word of warning. We appreciate it.
And then you probably already know this, but I would be cautious roaming the woods. There are wolves and dire wolves that roam the woods, and it's not very safe. So just be careful out there.
Yeah, we try to keep our eyes peeled.
He asks you at some point in the night. Also, Luvash asks you a lot more about your experience with Zarovich Landing and like what happened there, and you can kind of hear him later, kind of talking with some of the other guys about maybe going over there and seeing what the hell happened.
Yeah.
Because they kind of want to get a little bit of revenge, so
Well,
they're very curious to go there.
I will caution you highly. You may not come back from that
At the same
interaction.
time, they probably just got all beat up though.
There's a strange.
If we had, there was some magic afoot there, that bad magic that a few of our folks interacted with, and until the mage helped them, It was not looking good.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Now might be a great
I mean,
time to go in and see him.
I know that you know, I know that you're probably. I understand that you would want revenge, but I would be very, very cautious about that, and give that some sincere thought before you head out on that kind of adventure.
Well, we appreciate the words of caution, and we'll determine our next course of action when we've had less drink in our system.
That's probably
Yeah.
wise.
Yep. All right. Well, Luvash says, "Look, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yep.
You're welcome to whatever you need while you're here.
We need some sleep right now.
Yep.
I need to get my spell slots back.
I'm gonna count my gold.
I don't have any spells that I used even. Oh yeah, I did. I used the Pass Without a Trace.
So you guys bed down, and the fire's flickering. There's a campfire going, and someone throws a couple of big logs on because you know it's gonna burn for a while. And it's super warm and cozy, and you're feeling pretty good and kind of glowing with the wine that you've had. You're feeling pretty. You haven't been drinking a lot of wine, but you're feeling really, really safe, really good. You feel good around these people, and you drift off into a sleep, a really, really restful sleep. You've been doing a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
A lot of walking.
And fighting.
And some great fighting. And,
Awesome fight.
as you...
And our ranger has just been quietly over in the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah. Have you been drinking too with everybody and like
I have
carrying
not.
on? Okay.
I am.
So you've kind of kept
Yes.
kept from that, but I'm sure you're eating and
Yeah.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to...
You might try to escape and go and visit the guy in the gray.
Mm.
That would be an interesting side adventure. I bet she's still up. Yeah, you should go over and see that guy at the gray. Holler if you need a hand. Secret code was help.
Flinta, eye roll again.
Mm-hmm. Well, hell, I'll go over there with you.
I don't think
Sure, I'll
that's
go
I don't-
over alone. I don't know. Not stealthily.
So you're going to walk down to that little house there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Want me to
So-
go with you?
Uh,
I'm totally up for it.
I'd say stay at the path.
Don't take him. Don't take him. Use your stealth and go. Just don't even.
Well, I mean, okay.
Maybe I exit the tent and just watch from a ways away, knowing that Enna says I should stay here.
I just think that's this guy seemed pretty reserved, and
Yeah.
I think we need.
Neutral.
I think we need to approach with respect.
You don't want to bring me with 0 intelligence over to talk to the what the
And
hell is
drunk
he?
as a skunk?
Yes. The dark elf?
Dusk.
Dusk elf.
Dusk
That's
elf.
what he is.
Sure, I'll go over and talk to the Dusk Elf. Flinta can stay at the tent.
All right, so you walk down the path towards the hovel, and it's dark. I mean, it's nighttime now. And it's dark.
Dark vision too. So
Yeah,
can
but I
see
mean, like
further now.
the hovel itself is there's no flickering of a
Okay.
candle or a flame, and as you kind of walk to the front door where you saw the dusk elf before, he's not there.
I feel like it would be rude to knock on the door in like the middle of the night.
Yeah, well, we were gonna get an introduction tomorrow morning. I'm not with you, so
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
One option would be rattle an arrow into his door. But I don't know if that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Flinta. What does Thalamir do? Because neither Flinta nor Enna are.
Yeah,
actually
we're not.
with you.
We're
Yeah,
not
so
there.
What is
That's
Thalamir do?
meta.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
I'm just gonna take a glance around and see if there's anyone about, and if not, I'll head back. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nobody out at this
Okay.
point. You don't see any activity around that particular cabin or whatever little house.
I'll just head back to the tent.
All right. So you head back to the tent and you kind of climb into your little bedroll area and you drift off to sleep as well. Everybody else is Flinta's snoring away, just
Yep.
sawing logs,
Mm-hmm.
and so is Smitty, and everybody's looks super content as you kind of scan the group, and kind of you can kind of see where all your friends are, and then you drift off to sleep. And it seems like almost the minute you close your eyes, you feel this extremely strong compulsion to get up again.
Okay.
And when you open your eyes, the fire is burned all the way down to just embers. And it's really dark in the tent. And you can still hear snoring. But you get up and you start to walk out of the tent. And when you walk outside of the tent, there's a cloaked figure standing there. Gray cloak. And it looks a lot like the elf that you saw before. And he says, "Follow me."
Yes, I
And,
follow.
and he starts to walk down the path and towards the woods.
Okay.
And as you go into the woods, it's almost like the woods kind of part as you enter the woods, following this elf. And he takes you deeper and deeper into the woods, and it seems like you're walking for a long time. And you get to this opening in the woods, and you can see with your dark vision that he stops, and he doesn't really have much of an expression on his face. He's pretty stoic in his expressions, but you can hear in his voice, it kind of wavers a little bit. And he says, "Thank you for getting Arabelle back to us." And he says, "You've completed your mission here in Barovia." And he says, "We want you to go on and tell people that we still exist. The Dusk Elves are still alive. We're trapped here. We can't escape Barovia. But we hope that you can take a message and someday return to help us escape Barovia." And with that, he kind of shows you, he points over to the forest, and the forest kind of opens up a little bit, and you just walk through into the forest, and the forest just closes around you
into
again.
the sunset.
And then you wake up. Now, if you remember when you came into Barovia, you had felt like you had aged.
Yeah.
As you wake up, you're laying on the ground back with your other group of friends that you were with before, and you're back to what you remember. Like you don't feel the weight of all that age that you'd felt when you came into Barovia. You feel as though you've almost like the weight has been released from your body, and you're your young elven, like vital, virile elven man again.
With us friends or his other friends?
With the other friends that he was with before he came to Barovia. And you can remember everything that happened as if it was like it just happened in your mind, but you're unsure if it was just a dream or if it actually happened. But the one thing that really sticks with you is the words of the Dusk Elf, and that he was basically like saying, like, we need you to take this message to the outside world.
Yeah.
So
Does he still have his gold?
you check your pockets and there's no gold.
Oh.
Do we get his gold?
I don't know. You'll have to find out next time we play.
There might be just a pile of gold sitting in Thoromir's spot.
And that, my friends, is where we'll end the session.
Good session.
And Elliot, thanks for joining us for
Yeah.
a couple of sessions, man.
Thank you for
Yeah,
inviting me.
your arrows will be missed, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, there may be a future when you come back, so
Yes.
we'll play it by ear.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun having you, for
Yeah.
sure.